city of South Bend. Stop the violence. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we pray. And Lord, we ask that you bless this council, amen, that they would do the things that you called them to do, oh God, in the name of Jesus. And we thank you for what you're doing and for what you're going to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Let everyone say thank God. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Word. Assistant Ms. Taboo.
Mr. Scott.
Present.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Ready to serve.
Mrs. Shea. Dr. Fred Furlick. Dr. Varner's not here. Vice President Oliver Davis.
Present.
Councilmember White. Present. Mr. Furlick.
Here.
President Dieter.
Present, ma'am.
Now you've got 7 at the moment.
Thank you. May I have the report from the subcommittee on minutes.
The Common Council of the City of South Bend. The subcommittee has inspected the minutes of the July 8th, 2013 meeting of the council and found them to be correct. Therefore, we recommend the same be approved. Signed, Derek Dieter, David Varner, approved by the council on July 22nd, 2013.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second. We have a motion, a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Under special business, representing the city administration tonight will be Chief of Staff Catherine Roos. We do not have any reported city offices, therefore may I have a motion to resolve in the committee of the whole.
Can we do that? Councilman Shea is here.
Yes, we put it together.
Okay, now you can have your motion. So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposition?
Thank you.
The Committee of the Whole is now in session. This is the portion of the council meeting where bills are given a second reading and public hearing. I wish to share with you that bills that will be given a second reading this evening have had a committee meeting and a recommendation before it's coming from that standing committee. If the proposed ordinance is a zoning ordinance, a report from a staff member of area plan will be given. In all other situations, a formal presentation on the proposed ordinance will immediately follow the committee's report, and the formal presentation will be on time. At this time, I'd like to ask our council attorney to outline the procedures in regards to the public hearing and the amount of time that the presenters will be given, as well as the amount of time that those will be speaking in favor and those who will be speaking in opposition.
Thank you, Councilmember White. Immediately after the formal presentation, any member of the public may speak at a podium, and we ask that you give your name and residential address, and you are allowed to speak for a maximum of 5 minutes per person. Comments in favor of the matter before the council are taken first. They are immediately followed by comments of the public that are in opposition to that. Immediately after the close of the remonstrators, the petitioner, who has given the formal presentation, has the opportunity for a 5-minute rebuttal. And in this period of time, if there were any questions that were asked, the presenter will address those during the rebuttal period. At that point, Councilmember White will close the public portion, and it'll move to the council. During this period of time, the council has the opportunity to ask questions and make formal motions for the disposition of the bill before that board.
Okay, thank you so much. I do ask that council members allow the petitioner to give his or her report prior to asking questions of them. Also, it's at this time that only questions pertaining to the bill that is before us will be addressed. In addition, I ask that you allow me as the chair to recognize you so that every council member will have the opportunity to have their issues addressed, as well as questions to the petitioner. After we have completed the public hearing portion, we will have comments and discussion at the council members level at that time. Ms. Talboon, would you please give second reading to Bill 16-13?
Public hearing on a bill amending the zoning ordinance and requesting a special exception for property located at 3529 and 3527 Western Avenue, South Bend, Indiana, 46619, Councilmanic District Number 2 in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
Thank you. Is there a committee report? Zoning?
Dr. Furlick.
Zoning annexation sends Bill 1613 with no recommendation to the full council.
Okay, thank you. Is there a report from Area Plan?
Kristen Nader with the Area Plan Commission, offices on the 11th floor. The petitioner is requesting first a zone change from the MU Mixed Use District to the LB Local Business District, and a special exception to allow a gasoline service station. This is currently the convenience store on the left, and the house on the right is where the proposed gas pumps will be located. Again, there is an existing 1,700 square foot convenience store. The petitioner is proposing an addition of 2 gas pumps and 9 parking spaces. To the north, across the alley, are single-family homes zoned SF2, single-family and two-family district. To the east is a vacant home with a business front zoned MU Mixed-Use District. To the south, across Western Avenue, is a parking lot zoned LB Local Business District. And to the west is a convenience store zoned LB Local Business District. This comes to you with a favorable recommendation from the Area Plan Commission. Western Avenue is a major east-west traffic corridor with a wide variety of well-established business and commercial uses. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Council members, do you have any questions at this time regarding to the report you just received from Area Plan? Thank you so much. We'll now move to the petitioner. We ask that you come before the council, state your name, and give us an address and a summary of the project that's before us.
Mike Danch from Dan Turner and Associates, 1643 Commerce Drive here in South Bend, representing the petitioners.
Okay. We've always had some difficulties with the sound system. I can tell you that we're working with the county to really work on our technology, so that I will ask that all that will come before the council, speaking from the podium, if you make sure that the mic is as close to you as possible.
Okay. Can you hear me okay now?
Okay. Audience, can you hear him at this time? Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Mainly what I'm doing before council this evening, about 2 weeks ago, we were asked to continue this particular petition to give us time to make some changes. A couple council members, Councilman Dieter, Councilman Scott, had made a request for some changes in the written commitments. What I gave to council this afternoon was that revised set of written commitments. They total 8 commitments now. We had a few less. The main changes in the commitments for council, one was that there would be no single cigarette sales. We actually added that specifically into the written commitments. The second one from Councilman Dieter was anything concerning drug paraphernalia, and what we actually listed on there was the IC code, which is the state requirements for drug paraphernalia. That was also put in as part of the commitments. What I will tell council, as well as this last week, at the request of one of the council members, I attended a neighborhood meeting with the LaSalle Park Association. What I would tell council is that we met for approximately 45 minutes. I did give the neighborhood association a copy of the same set of commitments the council sees before them this evening. We did discuss the same issues. The neighborhood association still has some concerns. One of our commitments was revised, though, to address one of the concerns that was brought up at this last neighborhood meeting. There was a concern about possible litter or trash that may be present on the site. We added a commitment as well to this rezoning that would be taken care of on a daily basis. So that was part of everything that we've tried to do with the neighborhood association to at least alleviate their concerns on what we're requesting. I think Krista from Area Plan Commission pretty well summed up what we're asking council to do. We're asking for 2 particular items. One is to rezone the property to the LB district,
to allow us to have a gas dispensing facility, which would be 2 gas pumps, which would be located on the east side of the site. I think we've gone over the site plan. We've told council all the improvements that we plan to make to the site. That the petitioner is willing to invest between $500,000 to $600,000 at this particular facility to make improvements, and I think that based on those improvements and on the commitments that we've come up with, and hopefully we've tried to address with the concerns of the neighborhood, the council would see fit to approve this rezoning. If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer them.
Council members, any questions? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Council member, Dita?
Chairperson, could you allude to what 500 to 600,000 is going to be improved? Is there...
Actually, there's a number of things. There's some improvements on the inside of the facility for the food processing, a new freezer on the exterior. What we're mainly doing is redoing the interior, or I should say the exterior of the site. We're adding new parking areas. We're adding new screening areas for fencing, all new lighting, which doesn't exist on the site right now. There'll be a canopy that'll be located on the east side of the site along with 2 gas pumps. There'll be additional landscaping along Kenmore Street and also along the front of the facility. Right now, there is a used area, I'll just call it a gravel rut area on the west side of the building, which is used for parking. That'll be completely removed. Parking will be at the back end or the north side of the site. New curbing, new sidewalks will be put in along Kenmore to match the sidewalks that were done along the front of the site. And between those improvements on the outside, along with the gas pumps and with the inside and the painting of the building, that adds up to about $500,000 to $600,000.
Okay, just a quick follow-up. If this is approved and those improvements are made with all the inventory that sits in front of the window, toilet paper and everything else, will that not be visible anymore, or will that still be all stuffed up there?
What we will end up doing is that will give him more room to remove some of those items. As we had talked to council before, he has had trouble previously. He actually had plate glass windows there, and now he has plexiglass windows, but with the improvements we'd be able to do, we'd be able to remove some of those items from in front of those windows to open that space up.
Any other questions? Thank you. Is there someone else as part of your presentation? If not, then we'll move to the public hearing portion. I'm going to ask first council member Tim Scott to keep time. Each member will have 5 minutes to speak on the project, and I would ask that the audience that you be as courteous to the speaker as possible. At this time, those wishing to speak in support of Bill 16-13, we ask that you come to the podium, you state your name and address, and to share with us your comments if you are in support of Bill 16-13. We now ask that you come to the podium.
Chairperson?
Yes.
I just want to tell everybody I'll give you 1 minute warning before your time is up.
Okay, thank you so much. Seeing no one that's present, anyone wishing to speak in support, we ask that you come to the podium at this time in support of the project. We ask that you state your name and your address for the record, and you will have 5 minutes. Okay. While you're setting up, Mr. Brown, would it be all right we go directly to, okay. Will you state your name and address, please?
My name is Barbara.
Can you come a little bit closer to the mic?
My name is Barbara Dockery, and I live at 3527 West Western Avenue, and I am the one that lives right next door to the store, to Rick's Smart Shop now. They've renamed it, and with me living there recently, in the past, there's been a lot of loitering there, and there's, been a lot of problems, a lot of trouble in the past, but since Ricky has taken over, things have calmed down. They no longer have the youth there loitering around. They no longer have, just a lot of troubles that were in the past. Those have, have ceased. That Ricky has seen to it that those things don't go on there anymore. They have security cameras, they have a security guard there during certain hours, and with me living right next door to them, I used to hear a lot of noise and just a lot of stuff going on, but I haven't, things have been peaceful and things have came to a calm now, and I'm thankful of that. And I do know Ricky as being my neighbor. I know that he's very caring, very compassionate, and he's very concerned about the neighborhood. He's very concerned about the people that live within the neighborhood, and he's very concerned about resolving whatever grievances that people do have in order to get, his expansion of his business. And I think that with having all the changes, the improvements, I think that it's going to make a big difference with the one house that is to the right of my home. That has been vacant for many, many years now. That's been a big eyesore, and I know Ricky's going to deal with that situation. And with the cleanup over there, I think that, and the improvements, I think it's going to, make it look a lot better. It will make things better for the Western Avenue area there. And I guess that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else wishing to speak in support, we do ask that you come to the podium and you line up behind this young lady here. Anyone wishing to speak in support?
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Sharon Wells, 4409 Southview Lane, and I'm here to support Rick and his business. I think that I'm just going to jump right in. Here's a gentleman that has a business on that corner in our community trying to expand with his own finance. That's an A+. Plus it says that he's intended to stay in the community. If he's intended to expand his business, that means he's going to be living within our area. And that we do need. Because we fight, to me, I feel like we're fighting about the wrong thing. Because that community has a lot of stuff going on. But right there around that location that he's trying to expand into, it's not that bad. Police is not being called over there all the time. He keeps people moving in his store. People come, pull in, they go right on out. He does have a lot of camera and stuff. Cause I have never been the one to get into a fight when somebody's not doing good. I've seen a lot of good he has done over there in that community. I know the opposition probably have a lot of issues with it, but I think that it's a good thing for him to expand over there. It's so much needed over there. I know that it's a gas station up the street, but a lot of stuff is going on, and he is trying to make the community a little better. Might not have a whole lot of jobs coming into his business, but there will be a few jobs coming into the building, and it's all about being safe. And he is talking about making that area safe for us. So I know that's a main concern for some people. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Charles Clark. My address is 437 Albert Avenue. I'm in support of Ricky in the gas station. Ricky's a great guy, and I've watched a lot of improvements in that area since Ricky's taken over the store. It's a lot cleaner. There's no loitering. Part of the reasons why I think you should have a gas station is just because of, how do I want to say this, to make it more even, where I get a choice where I get my gas from. Everybody likes to go to certain places and do certain things. I want to be able to have a choice. I don't want to have to go to the Falcon Street gas station if I don't have to. I want to be able to have an option, which I believe that's what Rick is going to do. And by him investing his money in that area, which we don't have a plan right now for that area, I don't believe, it would be a great thing and would probably bring more businesses to that area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Robert Childs. I live at 214 North Kenmore. I've been over in that area a couple of years, and I've met Rick since I've been over there. And as everybody has said, he has made a great improvement on that corner right there. And I believe I'm an improver of his what he has to do for that building. 'Cause I believe it'll bring some more business and it'll uplift the facing on Western Avenue. Because as you look along there, there's some business over there that's not open all the time. You got a flower shop, a cheesecake shop, but people still go up in there. And I think it'll help the area and the community more with the business going on over there. They say he do have some cameras up there now, and I noticed that when I went in. And he's changed it up, he's painted it, and it looks very nice over there. And I think what he's about to do too will make it even look better.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm here with John, 215 North Athens Street. I'm here to support Rick. I've been staying around here 7 years. I've been going to Rick's store for 7 years. I haven't never seen no drugs, no gangbangers shooting around there. So I think it's very nice that he's trying to upgrade the neighborhood. I don't know what someone have against it, but I think it's fair for him to upgrade the neighborhood. I don't see anything wrong with it. And thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah McLaughlin. I live 214 North Kenmore. I've lived in the area a couple of years now, and I do frequent Rick's store. Now, when I first moved in that neighborhood, there really wasn't gang banging. It was a few guys, a little riffraff would hang out from time to time, but he got rid of all of that. Put a lot of security cameras up, a lot of lighting. Rick does help the neighborhood out. He goes over and beyond. I've seen him help certain families who are in need, things like that. This is not just pertaining just to his business. He has a warmth about the neighborhood. If you frequent down Western Avenue from Kenmore on down, there's a lot of vacant businesses that has closed up. And I don't see a problem with him opening up a gas station. I think it would upgrade the neighborhood. And I feel that Rick deserves a chance. I mean, everyone deserves a chance, in life, So I'm supporting him.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Wally S. Man, and I stay in 217.
Can you speak up a little bit louder for the mic?
That mic right next to you.
Which one is it?
No, on the table. Flat one.
The flat one.
This one right, no, right there.
This one?
Just speak loud.
Right here?
Just speak loud.
Right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay, 217 Concord Avenue. I've been over there almost 40-something years. And Rick, he the only one really stayed over there to look out for people that no help people. He don't know. He don't. I mean, on the West End, over there, you see 4 or 5 people out there. Everything on the west side. They call it the west side. See, anytime you from the west side, you really play with it bad. But they ain't the case over there. Your black kids go down to that store. They walk down and get popped down there. And matter of fact, tell the truth about it, when you go down there buying stuff from him, he's cheaper than more than your clothes. That's the reason I go down there. He got a little teddy chip a kid. You get 4 of those in a little pack for $1. You go up there, you go to Kroger's and Mark when they sell them for $1 a piece. So they need that stuff down there. I mean, it's up to y'all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll ask that you keep your expressions of support down, please. State your name and address.
Yes. Lower Mike. My name is Henry All. 254 North Chicago. I'm in favor of Rick Smart expanding because of the fact of the gas pumps would be immense help to the community. Because we have Falcon Street Station at the corner that stays congested. And that would relieve a lot of that overflow of traffic. And as far as the money, the help expand, he could broaden the store. He could put more lights, more cameras. No crimes are done under a watchful eye of a camera or a lit area. Thank you.
Thank you.
James Carter, 322 Falcon Street. I feel that Rick is a tremendous help to the community. I'm here on behalf of the youth because a lot of people my age would not come down here in front of all y'all and speak their mind. Me personally, Rick has helped my family, like, on the most struggling times. Like, didn't have food in the house. Like, I got younger sisters. And it's like, I can go to Rick and, you know what I'm saying, help provide for my household. And, like, so, yeah, there is some kind of, you know what I'm saying, there is some violence in our neighborhood. I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. But it doesn't happen up there on his property at all. You can look it up in the papers. Don't too much nothing go on outside of that man's store. But and then there's some people that complain about these gas pumps that don't even live on Kenmore. And that's the truth, you know. It's just a lot of people that don't want to see somebody expand. I mean, I'm down for 100%. And I mean, on behalf of the youth, yeah, I mean, there's some bad teens out there, you know what I'm saying. They got to learn from that, of course. But you know what I'm saying, that's where South Bend PD should come in at. They should do their job to stop all that that's going on. That ain't got nothing to do with Rick at all. And that's just all I got to say on behalf of my neighborhood.
Thank you. After this gentleman here, we go to Mr. Brown for his presentation.
My name is Herbert Miller, 442 South Alpha Street. I am in favor of this proposal, and I just feel like the West Side South Park Association should not brand him because of the fact of what problems they had at 66 Station and other things up on Western Avenue. I think he should be given the chance. He's spending his own money. He's not asking anybody for any help. For you to brand him just because of what Munchie Mark used to be is wrong.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move to Mr. Brown for his presentation. You have 5 minutes.
Reverend Greg Brown, 1238 Diamond. I'm in favor of the Munchie Mark. Now, Rick's Mark, for several reasons. One, we had a young man that ended up dying in the South Park home right there on the corner. They didn't have enough money to bury him. Reverend Brown went to Rick without hesitation. He gave money. Money's hard to come by. I've been in the stores. I'm a youth minister. I'm at Washington High School all the time. I have photos. I was in Rick's store today. I was in there last week. I was in his store. Rick's store is clean. Yeah. You see some areas where he needs some room. You see he got a lot of overstock where he got it stocked up there. But it's clean. I heard last time you talked about Peltonetta. To turn around and have Ricky Mark to jump over hoops, to tell him that he has to do this and do that, I think you should tell the whole city. My point of saying that is, you walk across the street, there's a Quick Mart, right across the street, Quick Stop, Quick Mart, what you want to call it. I was in both of them today. You just seen a array of pictures from there. If you're from the West Side, you're familiar with this look. This is the food mart across the street. If you're going to judge a store, judge the whole store, from the inside to the house. This is inside the food mart. And as you see these pictures in the food mart, they sell almost the same thing. The exact same thing. Prices is real close. But there's a thin line in between them that I want to draw your attention to. You see the same vendors come to the store. But as you see, they sell frozen fruits. They have things for families to eat. I heard Councilman Davis say the calories when you go down the street for McDonald's start at 320 to 740. But you see this back picture right here. As I blow it up. See this picture here? This is the Peltonetta that we was talking about. This is not in the Rick Mark. And when you get to judging somebody, everybody can be judged, everybody can make mistakes. But be careful where you point at, because Rick didn't come and ask for a tax rebate. He didn't come and borrow money from the city to try to do an improvement. You ain't got attorneys to do it the right way. If you're going to make a decision, council board, I want you to look at the whole decision. If we're going to make an ordinance, and you say this is a problem, I haven't heard of Rick's Mark being robbed. But I've heard of the 7-Elevens being robbed, all of them, this past week. And I come to stand factual, I stand actual, and anybody that knows me, If I can't wait for you, I'll shoot.
Okay, we're going to ask you please not to applaud. At this time, we're going to go to those wishing to speak in opposition to Bill 16-13. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address, please. Those wishing to speak in opposition, please come to the podium.
Well, I hope that you can hear me. Constance Green, 3217 Dunham Street, and I am president of the Far West Side Neighborhood Association, a part of the Western Avenue corridor. Our neighborhood goes from Western Avenue to Ireland Road, from Mayflower to Olive Street. Overwhelmingly, the Sale Park Neighborhood Association and the Far West Side Neighborhood Association have worked together, and we have taken a vote and a survey of the area, and they have. We do not need that. I recognize that businesses must expand and they must grow. I also recognize that your past history also shapes where you come from. And yes, if I wanted something new and I was looking for rezoning or whatever, I'd clean my act up too. I wouldn't have those things that I had done in the past. But I'm concerned because I taught school for 38 years at Washington High School. And one of the things that I see is one of the fastest growing youth area is the Sale neighborhood area. Lots of young people, a lot of children who have to continually go to Harrison, Navarre, Washington High School. They have to cross the streets. They have to look at the new congestion that's going to come. Also, I am concerned about the quality of the food. I can't speak what other stores have, but I know a lot of young people, parents, who are unfortunately on welfare or using food stamps. Send their children, and I see a lot of candy, a lot of pop, a lot of salty foods. Yes, there's a McDonald's down the street, but people are looking at all those stores. We need to teach our kids about nutrition. We need to have more patrol people and speed signs on Western Avenue. We don't want any child to get ran over because somebody came out of a filling station. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Florine Jennings. I stay at 110 South Lake Street, and we've been there over 50 years. Rick Mark, I'm supposed to say Munchie Mark. Once it's Munchie, they still say Munchie Mark. When you say Rick Mark, no one knows what you're talking about. But anyway, I'm against it. We don't need it. It's still. 2 weeks ago, I took my granddaughter in there. She bought a single cigarette. Same week, a lady's purse was snatched right outside. She was coming out. Her purse was snatched. Everything doesn't make the news. Everything doesn't make the paper, as we all know. I don't know about their food. I don't go in there and shop. I'll be too scared. But one time, I'm too scared to go in there. They still have the loitering outside. I rode past there. There was a bunch standing out there, same thing. I've taken food out of my refrigerator, out of my cabinets, and fed people. Gave them boxes of food that I bought with my own money and gave it to people to feed them. So that's a good thing to do. It's a good thing. I think it's a human thing to do, American thing to do. To put a gas pump there, no light, congestion. There's barely enough room to park to go in there and shop. I don't see where we need another gas station. And a 2-pump. We have 5 stations in that area already. 5. And just one half a block from his store where he wants 2 pumps. This is a half a block for another gas station? I don't understand it. I don't see where we need it. Outside, we're still having the crime. The same thing is still going on. They clean it up if they know you're coming. That's what most people do. But I'm going to have company. I'm going to clean my house before you get there. That's the way they do it. And that's all I have to say about it. But I'm against it.
Thank you.
My name is Charlotte Bridges. I live at 222 South Dundee. My church is at 303 South Kenmore. I came to South Bend in 1968, and I moved in that area, and I'm still there. Instead of my property going up, regardless of how much money I put in it, my property is going down. Western Avenue looks nothing like it looked when I came there. All you see up and down there is raggedy car lots, or broke down restaurants and gas stations. So why would I need another one? I went out the other day looking around, and I went about 20, 30, 40 blocks, and I needed some gas, and I could see no service station. Put them over there. They need some service pumps over there. We just need something to improve our neighborhood. We don't need nothing to bring it down. And just this past weekend, kids were killed hanging out at a car wash. That's all it is another place for somebody to hang out. Sometimes when I stand up, my thoughts sit down. But I'm not what I used to be, Dr. Fred. I'm not what I used to be. But we need things brought to our neighborhood to uplift our neighborhood, not to tear it down. And I'm gonna tell you something. I know I'm probably not supposed to say this, but if I had money and I took it and passed it all around, I could have got a lot of people here too. And I know for a fact, but I'm not going to call no names that money was passed out.
Okay. I'm asking all of those to please keep your comments down, and we'll continue with those wishing to speak in opposition. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition, we ask that you come to the podium now. Okay, and he'll be the last person in the brown shirt coming up. State your name and address, please.
My name is Billy Kennedy. I live at 206 North Illinois Street, South Bend, Indiana. Good evening, council.
Good evening.
And ladies and gentlemen. I am in opposition, unfortunately, because over a period of time, I've made my own personal observations, although I am an assistant to Ms. Brody, who is the president of the association. I've made my own personal observation in terms of going up and down the corridor of Western Avenue and going into both stores and patronizing both stores. I patronize both stores, and I believe in the prosperity of those merchants. However, the bottom line here is that regardless of whether you bring an entourage of people opposed or for, the bottom line here with me is that the merchants really are trying to expand for profit for themselves. Unfortunately, we have tried to network, and I'm going to stay on both sides, and unfortunately we haven't networked, and there hasn't been a show of good faith here as of yet, and that would be the main reason why I'm opposed. Now, according to all the other people speaking their mind about what they've experienced, I was just at the store across the street, and I saw people, unfortunately, loitering at Rick's. It just so happened, it was just a coincidence. I happened to be going into the other store to get soda. Now, I patronize both stores because one store might offer something at what I would call a really reasonable price, and then Rick's store might offer something at a reasonable price. They are truly competitors in that sense. But our business of the day was with Rick, and Rick failed to show any real honest effort on coming together with us to network as a neighborhood association. So I don't feel confident at this time to say that I believe that his business should expand. For one thing, the gas pumps actually lure you into the area so that you can go into the store and buy merchandise. That's basically what it is, because most everyone knows that the gas prices are pretty competitively the same within the two. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. No problem. That the gas prices are competitively the same. but they provide all these merchandise. And I can assure you, from my experience, both stores have things that they shouldn't have in the store. So, you know, I can only speak for the agreement that we had made prior to. And it's been a lot of propaganda, but nothing has materialized here. So I don't feel as though we should move forward in granting anything that would expand the store at this time. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Michael DeVita, planner with the City of South Bend Department of Community Investments with offices on the 14th floor of this building. As the council is aware, the city is in the process of creating a new Western Avenue corridor plan to replace the existing one that provides the basis for planning decisions. The new plan would provide more detailed guidance on preferred land uses. The plan would also include market-based business development strategies to assist in the revitalization of areas such as this that have seen relatively modest levels of investment. And on the matter before us tonight, we appreciate the petitioner's service to the neighborhood and the willingness to meet with community investment, hear the neighborhood's concerns, and make alterations to their plans. We would welcome investment here to the extent that it's a benefit to the neighborhood and to the city. We would certainly not object to a well-managed store here. We would support an expanded retail presence that offers a wider range of goods to residents. The city favors plan elements such as the enhancement of the store, landscaping, lighting, fencing, and the creation of a parking lot that moves the vehicle parking off of the Kenmore Street tree lawn, and the investment that comes along with these improvements. However, the city hesitates to endorse a special exception to create another new auto-related use here that, because of its characteristics, would have a negative effect on the quality of life and property values for neighboring residents, and one that may serve to discourage future investment in surrounding properties. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Marvin Creighton, and we built our home at 305 South Lake Street 40 years ago. And back then, Western Avenue wasn't being going down like it's going down now. And to put another service station, we don't need. And I'm against the expansion of Rick's. All I see is cans and, papers, that type of stuff, food in that. Why not put some produce in there so these people can, kids can be more healthy? Two of my grandchildren are here now.
Can you speak to us, mister?
They are healthy. They're not obese because they eat out of an organic garden when they're visiting me here. So this is where we need some produce in it. And I'm not innocent in more drugs in this area. I can stand in my driveway and I can see drugs delivered right there in the neighborhood. And that's what what's happening with these service stations up there. There's drugs. Another means of bringing drugs in. We don't need it. And thank you.
And thank you.
Wendell Johnson, 305 South Falcon Street. Excuse me. A little bit emotional. One of my neighbors lives across the street from me. She's in a nursing home. She lives at 302 South Falcon. My journey began in 1989 when I moved into that neighborhood. My neighbors were middle-aged, aging. My neighbors now are 86, 90, 84, 85, Hispanics, middle-aged, afraid to step forward to speak out.
for citizenship reasons and other things. I mean Rick no harm, but I mean to protect my residents that are in my area, our neighborhood. It makes no sense for a gas station to land in the middle of a major highway area. Makes no sense. I understand that the young man has been corralled by other merchants that are in the area by buying properties that are most available and opportunistic for his type of business. One thing, and most important, erasing myself, there are senior citizens in that area. These stations which come into the residents in the neighborhoods that I belong into, minority owned, it breeds trouble. I invite you to visit any of the Phillips 66 stations that are in the area and see the paraphernalia that's set right beside the Annihilators. They're not considered paraphernalia because the cocaine or crack hasn't hit it yet, or the marijuana. There needs to be legislation, ordinances, or something placed upon these types of businesses. The only thing we can do now is to try and block those businesses from growing in our area. That's what we ask. And as residents, as homeowners, and I think a lot of the people that are in opposition are just that, homeowners. I rest.
Thank you. Come to the podium, state your name and address.
My name is Dennis Plump. I stay at 302 South Chicago Street, 2 blocks from Kenmore. That's known as the Munchie Mart, and I myself have frequented that establishment along with the establishment across the street and the gas station on Falcon. And for me, I don't see where it would be feasible to put another 2 pumps at a store where you have a gas station already a half a block down. And the station that existed right now it can be congested at times, and things that happen there to where the city cannot control it. Where is the guarantee going to come that this station will be built that congestion and confusion will take place there? And can we be assured that no danger will happen there? If you build that, that's just going to be a place for other people or young people to hang out, because they don't have any place to hang out. And when people hang out with nothing to do, things happen. Trouble happens. It's just a thing that is waiting to happen. If you don't have a drug house in a certain area, build a drug house and the druggists will come. You build that station there, you're going to have problems there. I heard a person said that we have a choice of variety to where to get our gas. Why do we need just a half a block to make a choice to go get some gas when we have been making choices before to go 3 or 4 blocks where gas stations have been established already? I have no problem with him expanding his business because it is congested in there, and it would be good for him to expand it and make it bigger. But a gas station, no. I'm against it. We're just asking for trouble. And if it be built within time, trouble will be there. And if somebody gets killed there, then what excuses will we have to say, what could I have done different?
Thank you. Okay, this will be the last speaker speaking in opposition.
No, run by hand.
Yeah, my name is Pastor Calvin Bacon. I'm the overseer of New Generation Christian Ministries. My home address is 51575 Clubhouse Drive, but I've been pastoring a church in that area for over 8 years now.
And a lot of these people here are members of our church, and they live in that neighborhood. And I'm looking at long term. We always do things in short term, and we sometimes see good benefits in the short term, but do we see the benefits of a long term establishment being there? And Rick has no control over people and what people do. I understand that. But what's it going to promote for the community in the long term while he's there? Again, kids will hang out there. I've seen them hang out there in that area many times. Gas station with 2 more pumps, is it going to create more crowded area for people to try to get gas and try to, I've been at gas station, we have 6, 7 gas pumps, and they're fighting over that. So when you have just 2 more gas pumps in a congested area right there in a small space, you're going to have problems in that area. No, he can't control it. I believe he's a good person. He loves to help people, but I just don't think that that's the right place to place gas pumps at, because I don't think it would be a benefit to the community nor to that neighborhood at this time, nor in the future. I'm not against private enterprise or expansion, but sometimes it just don't work out like we think it's going to work out. And I don't believe that that would be a good area to put gas pumps in at this time, or it would benefit the community or the neighborhood in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. The public hearing portion is now closed. We'll allow the petitioner for a 5-minute rebuttal based on the comments that you heard from those who were not in favor of Bill 16-13.
Let me just bring up a couple items. I think council sees that there are people that are obviously in favor of this petition, and there's also some people that are against the petition. And I think what council heard tonight was a lot of the problems with this particular neighborhood. What we're asking council to be able to do is to bring this property up to add $500,000 to $600,000 worth of improvements here. I think what you heard was that there's also congestion at some of the other stations, which forces people to go to other areas. I think being allowed to put 2 gas pumps, and that's all we're talking about, at this particular location, a new facility. This would be a marathon facility run type, and I think the way we have done it, with the commitments, with the lighting, with the security, with what we have presented to council, that we have hopefully addressed a lot of the concerns that were brought up tonight. But I think the council can see that there are a lot of neighbors that use this facility. They would like to see Ricky expand. They would like to see it brought up. And I think that's going to continue to be done. But what we would ask council to do is approve the zoning and the gas pumps. If you have any questions from there, go ahead and answer.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll go to the council portion. I'm going to start directly with First District Council Member Tim Scott and go directly down until all the council members can have comments pertaining to this particular project. Councilmember Scott, any comments you would like to make at this time?
Chairperson White. You know, we started this in November. It's been a long road on it. I think it's good. There's a lot of due diligence that's being done here, a lot of questions being asked. Council members that asked for petitioner to meet with the residents and meet with the neighborhood associations. And I think that's all well and good. It's really difficult because we want business expanding. We definitely want businesses expanding on the west side. However, there's just been too many flags for me. I've seen miscommunication where a letter to set up a meeting with the neighborhood association back in November was given to a person that didn't make it there, and the meetings never happened. I've been in Rick Smart. I'm concerned with not only paraphernalia or anything else that is kind of deemed illegal. Sports wear that might not be licensed or might be licensed. Who knows? Single cigarettes. In my business, I work in the petroleum. I know what gas stations are, and gas pumps are there. They're a loss leader at times. They're just break even. The whole idea is to drive business into the stores to buy the soda pop, the candy, the whatever. You know, I don't think the petitioner is not savvy in his business. Obviously he is. He's gotten probably the 2 best people to come before this council and is willing to invest $500,000.
I'd rather see the investment right now up front, that all these flags aren't coming up with the neighborhood groups. You look around at some of the really good businesses, we don't have those conversations. We don't have neighbors saying no, no, no. You know, Henry Davis brought up healthy food options. No one's stopping Rick Smart from not selling healthy options. Obviously, there's some money there. There's some ways to make the business better that there aren't all these red flags. With that said, I can't be supportive, and it's unfortunate.
Thank you, Councilman Henry Davis.
Thank you, Chairperson White. This has to be, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out, showing your courage to come out and actually even speak to this council. We don't necessarily see a lot of you on a regular and consistent basis, and I implore you to continue to show up because a lot of things that we do down here affect you and your quality of life on a day-to-day basis. So please keep coming out. It's not for just one issue that affects you one time. My concerns have been said. I've already taken my stance on what side of the fence that I was going to be on. But I wanted to add comments to why do I feel the way that I do. We're asking Rick to do, in my opinion, a lot of things that could be deemed obnoxious. He's a business owner. His job is to make profit. Why would I go into business if I don't make a profit? That doesn't make any sense. So, what's the real issue behind what we're talking about? Is it the single cigarette sales? Is it the gas pumps? Is it the community meetings that he doesn't want to show up to? Is it the name change? Is it that kind of business that we're talking about? Is those the real true issues of what we're facing right now? And I want to probably say, no, that's not the issue. The issue is the lack of investment by the city in a given area where the investment needs to be at. We have a community that has come out. We call ourselves the Lakeside. Raised on Sheridan Street, this is my area. This is where I'm from. And my biggest issue as of right now is that these types of situations divide this community. Strong community, great voting block. And my issue at this point is that we've asked the administration for a plan. Well before this came up back in November, we're here again, continue to ask to engage community in plan. And my opinion has turned into a political football game. How does this play out later on? Who gets the votes, who don't get the votes, etc. We still have people living in those areas that need certain services. For instance, where do we go buy a bag of socks at? Where do we get the t-shirts from? Where do we get the things that are called retail from a certain area in that area? We don't. So that's why Rick is able to do what he does, because there's nothing else over there. And so while we're debating on whether he should spend $500,000 of his own money in one area or not, I mean, that's crazy. He should have the ability to spend $500,000 of his own money in a given area if that's what he wants to do. If he wants to take it and burn it up, he should be allowed to do that himself. My issue is that we have not, as a city council, nor as a city administration, meaning the mayor's office and community investment, have actually sat down to make sure that this could be a potential win-win for the business owner as well as for the residents that are in that particular area. And as a result, we're going to have a divided community over a store that is there to make profit. It makes no sense to me. So my strongest issue about this is that this council needs to get in line, our council leadership needs to get in line, the mayor's office needs to get in line and make sure these residents are served properly. Is there an enforcement issue? You better believe it. You better believe it. It's always been an enforcement issue over in that area. We have to call the police 2 or 3 different times. Or if they're over there, it's 4 or 5 of them, and it's an issue of harassment. So we have to look at these things at the way what they are. Code enforcement, how often does code enforcement, building department even visit these areas? They don't. I'm just telling you what goes over on the west side or lake side. These things don't happen. That's the reason why I ran for office. Because these things need to go to a higher level. They need to be intentionally done, and we need to be a priority on the city's list for investment. Period. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you so much. Again, I vote with my folks. LaSalle Neighborhood Park Association has stated that they didn't want it. That's the way I was going to sway back in November. I'm still there. But I'm going to implore the folks that have come out here. If you want to be a part
of a larger way of getting these things done. Recruiting businesses in here, making sure that they stay, helping to expand. Please, 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 join that neighborhood association. Join it, and we can get more together than we can apart. My question to Mr. Mike Danch, is there any way possible that he can still make this investment without the gas pumps? I see some sort of healthy conversation that supports the extension of the store, but not the gas pumps.
Councilmember Davis, after you make your comment.
I'm done.
Then we'll go back and have him address that question.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Councilmember Shea?
Thank you, Chairwoman White. This is a difficult decision. We've heard from both sides, both those that are in support of expansion as well as those that are opposed. I would hope that we could all agree that there are both benefits and issues with the proposal that's before us. It's clear from the presentations tonight that Rick's Market provides a valuable service for the residents. From the residents that have spoke, both for and against, it appears that Rick's Market is a convenient location for neighbors to walk to buy food, clothing, or other daily necessities. In terms of the product line, I would imagine if there were requests for things such as fresh produce or expanding your offerings at the store, I would hope that you would agree to expand maybe a healthier selection based on the suggestions we've heard tonight. Because I understand and agree, we certainly want to raise healthy kids eating healthy food. In terms of the public safety issues that were raised tonight, I did request, and I hope I realize I don't have a microphone. Can everyone hear? Okay. I did request from the police department a report on calls for service at this address over the past 3 years. Because obviously we hear things, but until there's a documented record for us to refer to, it's sometimes hard to know what's fact and what's perception. And based on the calls for service over the past 3 years, 2010, 2011, and 2012, there's been a drastic decline in the number of calls for service at Rick's Market. The calls for service in 2010, and I gave my document to the council, went from 34 calls for service down to 14 calls for service in 2012. And just basing it on numbers, it appears that with the increased surveillance and watchful eye, it appears as if the calls for service have gone down, which is a very positive thing. A bigger concern I would have would be Rick deciding that this is not a good location for his business if the council denies his request and it become a vacant location. That would be a bigger issue in terms of public safety and a gathering spot. So I have to share with you in terms of my decision-making process, I want you to know it's a difficult decision. I want to take into consideration everyone's point of view, but I do have to make a decision. And knowing that a vacant location, if a business owner is denied the opportunity to run their business as they see fit, expand, and pursue bigger and better things, could lead to a vacant location, I will be voting in support of this proposal.
Thank you. Dr. Furley?
I agree with what Valerie said. I will vote for this proposal. I think what you have here is a bunch of priorities. Everybody has priorities, but it comes down to a cost-benefit ratio. And the only way any part of South Bend is going to survive is if there's private money put into it. Otherwise, if you expect public money to revitalize your neighborhood, government money, we become a Detroit, okay? Detroit, as you know, this last weekend filed for bankruptcy, okay, which is a very sad situation. I could give you two examples. On State Road 23, where I am, 2 blocks from where I live, we have between Five Corners and Ironwood, we have 3 gas stations. It's approximately a block and a half. We have 7 restaurants there. We have a tire store, we have a bakery, we have 2 barber shops. We have all kinds of apartments behind there. And the three gas stations all serve food, same as Rick's Mart, and yet they produce commerce, they produce dollars for that area. And the more people that use that, the happier I am, because it represents a revitalization of that area. The other example is the 80th Street Commons and the Five Corners area. 5 years ago, if you recall, that whole area was blighted. The most valuable store was a liquor store, okay? And we got rid of that because people saw that a liquor store could make money, so maybe you could make money with other stores. So they revitalized that whole area. You can't do that without private money. So I think that Rick's got a good plan. It's a successful business plan. And when it comes to paraphernalia, we have the same thing all over the city. Well, it's up to the city to enforce those laws. If there's a law against that, in the city government, you have the right to have your police department, your code department, to enforce those laws. Secondly, let's say they didn't enforce it. Then it's up to the citizens, and I can tell you in my district they would, we'd boycott the place. We'd march in front of it if he was selling illegal things and the city didn't have the courage to enforce their laws, then we'd boycott it. We'd run them out of business, and that's what good neighbors do. But I don't think that's going to be the case here. I went to medical school in New York City, and New York City, they don't have giant Martins or Kroger's or Walmarts because the land's too big. They have thousands of these Rick's Marts. That's how it works, and they love it because it brings business and vitality to the region. So I think if you deny this, I think we're headed on the same path as one of our sister cities with bankruptcy in the future. I know you don't like to say that.
Okay, let's keep the comments.
Thank you.
Right here. Thank you. Councilmember Oliver Davis.
Thank you, Madam Chair White. We have to look at the 4-pronged test that says a special exception use. Special use may only be granted upon making a written determination, adopting appropriate findings of fact based upon the evidence presented at the public hearing. Number 1, that a proposed use would not be injurious to the public health, safety, comfort, community moral standards, convenience, or general welfare. I like to focus on number 1. There's no need for me to get to 2 or 3 and 4. In number 1, it says would not be injurious to the public health, safety, comfort, community moral standards, convenience, and general welfare. I see a lot of discomfort in here tonight, and the convenience issues really. And safety issues have been brought up and all those kind of things. I really wish, and I talked to shared this in our conference meeting this afternoon. With all due respect to private money, a lot of the issues on the east side were not just done by private money. They were done by tax dollars in those areas too. A lot of those areas on the east side did not have histories that dealt with issues of safety and comfort. And we have a situation here that has dealt with safety and comfort since I've been on the council. And that's an issue that I really think that I would hope that while private owners do have an opportunity to grow their business, they would have to look at the special exception use when they do that, no matter how much money they plan to invest. They need to look at what's comfort and safety. It would be my wish, and I think Councilman Davis alluded to this earlier, and we talked about it again, that there could be some way that and even some of you all in your discussions talked about this, that the store could be expanded. And because I did see Reverend Brown's pictures, and I've seen others, and I understand that the store can be expanded, which could help convenience and everything else. But the gas station issue adds another level of challenges that, and that area which I pass often, it's not safety over there, and it's not comfort over there. I think that would be the best way to have some kind of understanding for both sides, to increase the store, not have the gas station, deal with how things would go there, and move forward in life. That would add some safety and some comfort to everybody, a little discomfort to everybody, but overall comfort. And I think we can really move forward in that. So if there's any light of the owners taking some time to still invest in that area, expand their place, and delete the issue of the gas station, I'll be all for it. If they cannot do that in this current proposal, I understand that, and I would have to not go for that at this time. So it's up to them to see if they can make some adjustments. I'm sure they can. I hope they can. I know they can. And so I'm pleading to them at this time to just make some adjustments and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Froelich?
No, just say thank you to everyone who came out tonight and took their time to express their opinion. Appreciate it.
Councilman Deidre?
Thank you, Chairperson. Also, thank you for everybody showing up tonight. Again, this council, we do a lot of work, we do a lot of homework, we talk to a lot of people, and our role in the end is to mediate everything that people come. We don't like to, not that we're doing anything intentionally, when there's a divide between people in neighborhoods, we do end up taking one role or the other, but it's not taking sides, not to win, to lose. We just try to mediate once we get all this information. And Oliver's point of what comes before us on the zoning laws, I think he stated that pretty well. So I will then defer to you, Councilman White.
At this point, you've heard from all the council members, and I have listened. I've talked to a number of neighbors. I've actually visited the area. I used to live right down the street on 249 North Kenmore. The house is still standing. And the issue in terms that is before us, it is unfortunate, as Councilmember Henry Davis has stated, that the community is divided. Hopefully we can move forward. Whether the gas station remains or not, I am not in support of even the gas station. You begin to look at the location, which is really infringed upon the neighborhood. I think that at this point, there will be plans forthcoming in regards to the Western Avenue corridor. Citizens will have opportunity for input, and as we begin to look at the lack of neighborhood support, I think that we as a council, we have to listen to our citizens, even though there were others who have spoken in support. This has been an ongoing issue for quite some time, and I think it's very important that the council, that we would take action and that we'll work collectively together to really bring the sides together to see what is best for your neighborhood. It is your neighborhood. And I think we have to listen to our citizens. We have to look at a plan. One of the individuals that spoke in support, Reverend Brown, brought us some excellent points. We need to not only look at Munchie Mart or Ricky Mart, but all of these types of stores that are in our community. And I think that's the role of the council, to make sure that we have consistency in regards to what we are asking of Rick Mart, but also all these mini marts that are in our community. And we are very aware that it brings other types of negative impact within the community as well. And so I'm going to pledge that we'll be working with the council to look at all of these mini marts within our community, not only from a zoning perspective, but from enforcement, and to really make sure that we have consistency throughout. So at this time, there was a question that Councilmember Davis was smiling.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten that question. I'm going to allow that question to be addressed, and then we'll move towards motion from the council regarding this bill. The question, would you restate that once again,
Yeah,
please?
before I do that, you know what, you just brought something up that makes a lot of sense. We've already started working with the council attorney, preparing new policy for mini mart stores or their zoning. So, again, I will extend an invitation to any council member that's willing to participate on that. That obviously has been a conversation that I've been holding with council for a while, getting food deserts, et cetera. So again, I'm extending my hand out invitation to say, you guys want to participate, please. Mr. Dance, I asked you earlier about the investment that's being made. I'm asking again, is there any possible way that this investment could be still made, and it probably still won't be at the level of the 500 grand or even higher, but because of the convenience, the items being sold in the store, things that folks obviously need as far as accommodations, could we go with the plan just to expand the store rather than the store and the gas pump? Can we separate those?
No, that's what we were just discussing, because the petition came before council as the rezoning with the special exception. They have to be done together. If we could split those up, that would be a different situation where council could say, okay, forget the gas pump part of it, and we'll give you the zoning. But because of the way it's done, you actually have to vote on both things. What would happen, for what you're suggesting, is that if Ricky wanted to at some point in time to do expansion for just some things, he would have to come back before the council with just a rezoning petition.
Right.
And if we would have to again go back to Area Plan Commission, because again, of the zoning that we're asking for, and because of where this location is, we'd have to go back to Area Plan and ask for approval of the 11 or 12 variances all over again as well. And then to bring before council just a zoning petition. So he would have to go through this process again, just to do the zoning portion, to do the improvements.
Okay, I understand that, and I'm glad you explained that to us, and I'm not happy that that's working that way. However, in the essence of, I guess, good governing, is there any potential way that this conversation could happen again without the gas pumps, obviously for the convenience needs, especially in stores, for the area? Again, we need the investment, believe me, we need the investment. But what I'm getting at is I don't want to be in a position where we get into an investment and it hurts us more than it helps us.
Yeah. The only thing that we can do after whatever council decides this evening is for Ricky to make a determination which way he actually wants to go with this particular piece of property. We've had conversations with the building department and what he can and can't do, and he is really limited on what we're allowed to do with the existing situation, with the existing zoning classification that he has now. We've tried to look at every possible thing that could happen with the property, but that would be something that we'll take a look at.
Okay, I'm going to answer, because we've had discussion, you've asked your question. I think that...
We're getting somewhere, though. This last one, we're really getting somewhere. Okay, the city administration, and we want to hear, well, Mike is here. Is there any way that conversation can happen? And I'm more than willing to participate with you, Rick, and Mike, and whomever from the administration to secure a better way of investing the money to help out the neighborhoods, regardless if the plan is put in place or not.
Sure, we'd be glad to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would ask for a motion regarding this particular, and hopefully each council member has had opportunity to ask questions and to be heard as well.
Can we do a roll call?
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Motion to send Bill 1613 to full council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion, may I hear your vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, a roll call has been asked. Roll call, please.
Mr. Scott?
Nay.
Mr. Henry Davis? Mrs. Shea?
Aye.
Dr. Furlick?
Aye.
Vice President Oliver Davis?
Nay.
Councilmember White?
Nay.
Mr. Furlick?
Nay.
Mr. Dieter? 6 nays, 2 ayes.
Now I would like to entertain a motion regarding Bill 16-13, please.
I'd like to make a motion to send 1613 to the full council with no recommendation.
No. At this point, you have to
Unfavorable, I'm sorry.
Second.
I'm sorry, could you go back and read your motion again?
I'd like to make a motion to send 1613 to the full council with an unfavorable recommendation.
Second.
Welcome again.
All in favor?
Oh, do you want just a voice vote? Yes.
I'd like a roll call. I'd like a roll call.
Roll call vote.
Henry Davis?
Aye.
Mrs. Shea?
Yay.
Dr. Furlick?
Nay.
Vice President Oliver Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember White? Aye. Mr. Furlick?
Aye.
Mr. Scott?
Aye.
President Dieter?
Aye.
6 ayes, 2 nays. Bill 1613 will be sent to the full council with unfavorable recommendation. Ms. Townsend, will you give second reading to Bill 11-13, please?
Public hearing on a bill amending the zoning ordinance and requesting a special exception for property located at 3801 at Western Avenue, Councilmanic District, Western, Indiana.
At this time, I do believe that we have to take action. Is this a substitute bill?
There was a motion at the committee level. It would be to renumber current section 3 to section 4 with new section 3 to read as follows. This rezoning and special exception shall be subject to written commitments executed by the petitioner on April 19, 2013, and an amended site plan filed on July 22, 2013, both of which are on file with the Office of the City Clerk.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the amendments as read, may I hear your vote?
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. At this time, is there a committee report regarding the amended version of Bill 11-13?
Zoning and annexation sends the 1113 to the full council with a favor.
Thank you. Is there a report from Area Plan?
Kristen Nader with the Area Plan Commission. Office is located on the 11th floor. This property is located on the northwest corner of Western and Illinois Street. Just to give you a little history, the petitioner is requesting a zone change from the MU Mixed Use District to the CB Community Business District and a special exception for automobile sales and service. A little history on the site. The petitioner currently owns the site just to the west on the corner of Western and Chicago and would like to expand their existing business. In 2005, the western half of the petitioner's property received a special exception for the automobile sales and service. This is just a wide shot of Western Avenue. The arrow is pointing to the property under question. This is a shot of the existing site. Again, on the left is the petitioner's existing business, and on the right is the vacant lot they would like to develop. And again, just kind of from another angle. And this is looking along Western to the west. On the other side is their existing business, and then on the other side of Illinois Street looking east along Western. The area to be rezoned is 17,000 square feet. The site will be used primarily for the storage of cars to be repaired and cars displayed for sale. The petitioner has revised the site plan how it landscaping, fencing, etc., and that was the amended portion that you just did. To the north is vacant land zoned SF2 single-family and two-family district. To the east across Illinois Street is a towing business zoned GB General Business District. To the south across Western Avenue is a liquor store zoned LB Local Business District. To the west is the owner's existing automobile sales and service business zoned CB Community Business. And across Chicago Street is a car wash zoned CB Community Business District. Both the rezoning and the special exception come to you with a favorable recommendation from the Area Plan Commission. Once again, Western Avenue is a heavily traveled east-west corridor providing business opportunities for new and established business. The appropriate expansion of this business will relieve Chicago Street from being used as a parking area and add much needed buffering between the business and the neighborhood. The special exception use meets the standards for approval of the special exception use. That moving parking out of the right-of-way will support public safety. The expansion of an existing business should not affect the adjacent property values. The general character of Western Avenue is a commercial corridor, and the city plan objectives are being met in providing for a range of mixed uses.
Are there any questions? Councilman Dieter?
They're gonna do auto repair?
Yes.
They currently, is that, they have paperwork for auto repair currently?
Yeah.
And is
Sales
there,
and service is considered repair.
okay, well, is there, as a percentage of, for that business, car sales, pre-owned car sales, and auto repair?
Is the use,
50,
are you asking what the business currently does, or if there's any restrictions on what
just
will
a
be done?
restriction, because as I look at, like I said earlier, it looks like not that they sell bad things, but cars are stuck in there like sardines. It doesn't look like you can walk through a lot. You have to walk over cars to get to look at the cars. It's not like the car lot where you can walk around.
There is, the use is the use. It's automobile sales and service. You can sell cars, you can fix cars.
They stack everything in there again.
Not based just solely on the use. If you wanted to regulate it through a rent commitment or something to say number of cars they could have on the, or
what currently is there.
yeah, no, the use is not limited to being 50% of one or the other.
Council members, are there any questions you have of the mayor and plan? If not, we move to the petitioner. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name, and give us a brief summary of the project that's before us.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, for being here. My name is Kimberly Clendenin. My address is 56659 Windsor Avenue. I am the representative for Azteca Auto Sales. Mr. Dieter, to address your question, the zoning itself is for automobile sales and service. There is no distinction between one or the other. When you, let me go back to Zoom, I'll get to your question. The main concern that Jose and the owner of Azteca Auto Sales and I have had with respect to this business is the congestion that happens on between his business and the car wash. Just about any time given a day when you go there, his customers are parked on Chicago. Nobody likes that, nobody wants that, and hopefully with the expansion of the lot adjacent to his, not hopefully, that problem will no longer exist. The vehicles that Mr. Consuelo purchases are purchased from the auto auction in town on the west side of South Bend. They are wrecked vehicles. He has another facility called TNT Auto Sales and Service farther along Western Avenue. His current plan and what he has implemented is in the last month since we've started this process and heard some of the concerns of the neighbors as well as the council members. Is those vehicles that are purchased are taken to the TNT Sales and Service. Once the repairs are made, then the vehicles are brought back to the auto sales location. What's transpired, yes, Mr. Dieter, you're absolutely correct, Councilman Dieter. The cars are packed there like sardines. He doesn't have place to park the vehicles that are for sale other than that lot, hence the reason why he purchased the adjacent lot to expand his business. I had turned into you what I call written commitments, which is the enhancement beautification plan that I hope this is what the council was looking for the Western Avenue corridor. It's not just an expansion of the lot in which we're zoning today, it's a continuation of the whole block. So it's going to go from Illinois to Chicago. And what's going to transpire is that the vehicles that he has for sale at the car dealership can be moved over to the vacant lot once everything, all of the repaving for both lots is done, all of the fencing for both lots is done, and the landscaping is finished. Then you will not have the congestion that you have here on Chicago. Those vehicles that are customers as well as employees will be parking inside the fenced-in area, and all the vehicles for sale will be along the perimeters. Any vehicles that need to be repaired, any repair more so than a broken window, replacing a window, a light, a fuse, a battery, those repairs would be done down the street at his other business. I'm hoping to get a favorable recommendation from all of you so Mr. Consuelo can expand his business and continue to thrive on the west side of South Bend. If by chance the special exemption is not passed, the lot will continue to look as it does, if not worse. But I hope that you could see fit to allow Mr. Consuelo to expand his business, to beautify Western Avenue. I understand that it may not be in the extended plan that the community development is beginning to institute, but we do have a fellow business now who is willing to invest those dollars on Western Avenue in the fashion that is going to beautify the area, enhance the area, and help the community to, especially the Western Avenue corridor in this particular area, because not everyone's able to go to a new car dealership and purchase a vehicle. If you have any questions for me, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Councilmember, any questions? Councilmember Scott? Councilmember Davis?
What's the timeline on this particular project?
I asked Mr. Consuelo, and the minute you say yes, the phone calls are made into the contractor. I did ask him when he hopes to be finished, and he said before cold is. That was the most commitment I could get from him. If you would like to put that in as a written commitment, I would be more than happy to do that.
Okay, just for a matter of record, currently, how much, approximately, I know you probably don't know to the dollar amount, how many taxes are being paid, property taxes?
On the lot that he's currently on, over $8,000 a year.
Yes, per year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Just thank you for such thorough communication and the time that you've taken to work with the council to share the plan.
At this point, we're asking questions of the petitioner. We'll have opportunity to make comments. If you have any questions pertaining to the project. Okay, thank you, Councilman Fang. Any other council members? Any questions of the petitioner? Councilmember?
In our last council meeting, you were asked to go with the neighborhood association. Could you share us your, did you do that and share us your thoughts?
I was able to, Mrs. Brody was nice enough to allow me to come and do a presentation in front of the LaSalle Park Neighborhood Association. Many mixed reviews. I felt at the moment I mentioned cars, I was cut off from any other word past that. I think that what's transpired and the feeling that I got from the Neighborhood Association is that, yes, they want businesses to be in the Western Avenue corridor. They would just like to have different businesses than anything auto-related. As I tried to explain to them, this isn't a new business. This is an expansion of an existing business. And not only will it beautify one lot that we're hoping to get zoned, or once it gets zoned, we're beautifying the whole lot. And, but once again, I felt that it wasn't in their vision for the Western Avenue corridor.
Thank you.
Councilman Dieter, any questions of the petitioner?
Yes, thank you. One, he has another lot somewhere, I wasn't aware of that. He has another lot.
It's not that it's an auto dealer sales lot. What it is that he, are you familiar with where the Taste of Mexico restaurant is? Okay, sorry. To the east of that, there is, it used to be Fred's place. He owns that now, and that's where all of his vehicles go for repairs.
Okay. So the other thing that I wasn't aware of, all the cars that you're going to be selling are cars that have been in an accident?
Unless they're trade-ins, yeah.
So the majority of your cars you're going to be selling have been previously in a crash?
Since 2001, when Mr. Consuelo started his business, those are the vehicles in which he has dealt with it.
I wasn't aware of that.
The auction down the street.
So there's one, he only has one other place other than this for the autos that he buys at an auction that he repairs and shifts to this place.
Correct.
Okay.
No further questions.
Thank you. And now, thank you for your presentation. We'll now move to the public hearing portion. Is there anyone present wishing to speak in support of the amended version of Bill 11-13? Anyone wishing to speak in support?
Again, Michael DeVita, planner at Arnold Community Investment for the city offices on the 14th floor of this building. Just a general comment. Happy to work with Tim and the neighborhood on trying to work out something good for this particular site. If you had a chance for rebuttal for the benefit of those in attendance, I would ask if you can explain a little bit more on the volume and the placement of the cars and addressing Councilman Dieter's concerns. Just to describe through the landscaping plans as well, and the plan for the extent and type of fencing around the
So you're
lot.
not here speaking in support, you're asking for additional information?
Yeah, for clarification.
Okay, we'll get to that part after we have the public hearing.
Thank you.
Anyone present wishing to speak in support? Seeing no one, is there anyone present wishing to speak in opposition to the amended version of Bill 11-13? We ask that you come to the podium at this time.
Constance Green, 3217 Dunham Street, and I'm speaking on the behalf of the Far West Side Neighborhood Association. We recognize that we want economic development and revitalization of the area. We respect the council and the fact that you have a corridor plan that's coming up that would allow everyone to speak and have a voice. Our association surveyed and sent letters out to all these businesses in the last 2 years, and we met with them, and they wanted nothing at that time to do with the neighborhood. We went up and down Sample Street and up and down Western Avenue. We passed out letters, we mailed letters. One of the things that I have is that I'm under the understanding that there's 2 other rec shops on Western Avenue owned by the owner, and it's eyesore. I personally, living and driving down Western Avenue so often, I've never hardly seen any automobiles moved out of that area. They all look like things. I'm concerned about the environmental protection. If he's going to repair cars and oil and damage to the soil, what does it do to the infrastructure on Western Avenue with the old sewer lines, the already possible contamination of the LaSalle Park Best Lake going into that area? And we need to look at some of those things before we make a decision to let the expansion go. And whether or not the plan will raise the value and respect and hope of the citizen that live there. All up and down Western Avenue, there are car lots, there are, like you said, restaurants, car washes. It's quick businesses to get in and roll over money to buy a cheap building or rent a piece of property and throw some cheap cars up there. A lot of times, if I was being unethical, I would say maybe they're fronts. I don't know, but I can't say that. I would never say that without knowing. But you have to think in those terms. Where's all this quick money coming to do everything, and nobody needs any investment? They have their own money. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes,
Yes, I'm Florine Jennings. I live at 110 South Lake Street. As she said, there are numerous of car lots up and down West. Well, I really don't. My opinion, I don't look at those as car lots. The other 2 lots that Jose has, they're junk cars. They're packed in there just like they're packed in like sardines. Grass growing up around them. You can barely see the cars anymore. They're not moving them in and out. They're just sitting there and piling up and piling up. And they're getting tighter and tighter. If there was such thing, it's a beautiful sketches that they have. It's beautiful. The flowers and this and that. And it is. But all he's going to do is, well, so far all these stunts that I've seen is piling cars, junk them tighter. To get a bigger place, they're going to bring more cars. They're going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Then what? Then what you going to do? We don't need another car lot on Western Avenue. Like we don't need anything else really. We need something that really helps our neighborhood. Our children, the elderly. I would love to see the children, because that's our tomorrow. That's our future. Something that invests in for our children to get them off the streets or something. It's something to do. I wouldn't know what that would be. I'm quite sure if I sit down long enough, I would think of it, because I have 16 grandchildren. It would be something that we could do. Another car lot wouldn't be it. But I'm not for it.
Thank you for
sorry.
your comments.
Thank you.
Come to the podium now.
Again, good evening, council, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Billy Kennedy, and I am, at this time, a concerned citizen as well as a representative and servant to the community. And I'm in opposition at this time to the business owner because based on my observation after the last meeting that we had for the LaSalle Association, I drove up and down the Western Avenue corridor from Walnut Street all the way down to Peppermint Road. And there are approximately 22 businesses that relate to cars and trucks, repairs, etc. So therefore, based on that being my main idea and reasoning as to opposing him expanding is because, for one, as the business owner, we're going to go with the habit of his housekeeping. He's got everything packed in there now, so the chances of him expanding, he's going to pack it in again. Unfortunately, this is just my intuitive guess, because what he's doing now, and it's all about profit. I don't think this person, when I met him, he seems to be a decent gentleman. He was respectful. His representative, I've sat down and spoken with her. She's a good representative. I think the intention of good is there to some extent, but in the end, at the end of the day, it is really about profit, and I don't really think, based on, I'm going to say, his lack of presence, because he wasn't at the last few meetings either, and I think that business owners should be present. Just like we're present here, we're all here, and business goes on. So you should be present as well to voice your concerns and to make yourself known as far as your good intent is concerned. So at this time, I'm going to say, no, absolutely not, because what that's going to do is it's going to lower the property value even more to some extent, because I'm sure that the expansion will allow for him more and more and more business concerning cars. And being that, to my understanding, he doesn't have anything other than rental properties and the other businesses that he owns on Western Avenue, all dealing with cars. And that was my question to her. Does he have anything else? And I think, being good businessmen, men and women, is there the possibility that you can come up with another business plan, starting a brand new business other than cars or mini marts? I mean, come on. There are other ways to come up, you can pay a person to give you an excellent business plan to start a business. It doesn't just have to extend to mini marts, gas stations, and car places. So, with that said, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. The public hearing portion is now closed. Going to invite the petition to come back and for a 5-minute rebuttal. And there were questions that were posed from community investment. If you could address those questions and the questions that you heard from those individuals who are in opposition.
What I'm asking Krista to do is to put up my site plan so I can better explain what the landscaping and the use of the property will be for. Is it possible for me to come up here?
So remember, you only have 5 minutes. You probably want to stay to the podium, the mic, so we can hear you.
Okay, thanks. What we have here is, this is Western Avenue, and this is going to have fencing, what's called century fencing. And the century fencing is what's in front of the Center for the Homeless, the Memorial Hospital outreach, And, so what we'll have is, here's the vacant alley. This right here, our zoning, we've asked to have this to be chain link fence with screening on it. Here we're going to start the Century fence that's going to go all the way around the perimeter, as well as extended to Azteca Auto Sales and back to his building. Here we will have landscaping. We will have 6-foot evergreen trees as well as hedges. We'll have some shade trees here in the tree line. Here's a site triangle. As long as none of the landscaping is over 3 feet high, we intend to put landscaping here. We'll put landscaping here. There'll be a gate area, so we'll have some landscaping that you'll, when you drive in, you'll see, as well as in front of Azteca Auto Sales. When it comes to the number of vehicles that we will have on the lot, I apologize, I can't just separate this lot from the business as well. So when I go and I count the number of parking spots that, of vehicles that can fit there, on the outer perimeter, and then as well as in here, since we will not be stockpiling any vehicles for repair, I count anywhere from 66 to 85. That would include employees as well as customer vehicles. I discussed the volume and the placement of the vehicles, the landscaping and the fencing that the community development has addressed. When it comes to the process of getting used vehicle sales permit, that's regulated by the Indiana State Secretary of State. It is a process that has 15 different requirements. You have to be bonded in the state of Indiana in order to be a used car sales dealer. There are 5 car lots from Mayflower to Olive that are licensed. Are there other locations that people put cars out front with for sale signs in them? The answer is yes. I forgot the name of that, but that people do that. It was addressed that why is Mr. Consuelo not here tonight? Mr. Consuelo has poison ivy in his eyes. I've never seen this bad of a case of poison ivy. When I saw him today, I told him to stand 20 feet away from me and to please go home. But I do agree with you. If it was my business, I would have my thumb on the pulse, okay? It was brought up that someone was under the impression that Mr. Consuelo has 2 other wrecked shops. He doesn't. He has, I assume that you're just speaking of the Azteca Auto Sales as a wrecked shop because in the past, yes, a lot of wrecked vehicles were there. And then you're also speaking of the TNT that is on the east side of the States of Mexico. He does have 2 vacant lots that just have grass on them across from...
1 minute, ma'am.
Thank you. He does have 2 vacant lots that's next to the barbershop on Western Avenue, and he also has a rental property on the corner of Meade and Western when it comes to his property. When it comes to environmental protection, the city gives you permission if you're going to do auto sales and service, if you're going to do any painting, there's a process that's involved with that, and they are the ones that regulate that. Because of the type of repairs that Mr. Consuelo will be doing on his new property, the environmental issues are no different than what they would be in your own driveway. If there are any other questions that I haven't addressed, I apologize at this time.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time.
I do know that before you would go back to your seat, that Councilman Shea had one question, and then we go to the council portion of discussion.
Sure, thank you. I do want to be sensitive to the environmental issues that were raised, and painting, of course, is one thing. Can you confirm that in terms of disposal of oil, when he's doing oil changes and what have you, that all of the protocols in terms of environmental protocols he's adhering to?
The answer is yes. There are some vehicles that do come in that do need to have the oil taken out of them, the gas taken out of them, as well as the transmission fluid. There is a company in LaPorte that comes and recycles that for him. I'm who recycles gasoline, don't hit you on that one. But the oil and the transmission fluid are recycled through a company out of Fort. I don't remember their name off the top of my head.
Put into the sewer. The council now, the council portion, thank you. Council members, before we take a vote on this particular amended version of Bill 11-13, do you have any comments? Councilmember King, as amended. Councilmember Scott?
No.
Councilmember Davis?
Sure. Really quick, we have, I'm just really afraid that we're going to set a pattern and saying no to businesses in this area. I'm afraid that we're going to set a pattern for the entire South Bend. We've been talking about this being unbusiness-friendly attitude for a long time, and clearly it's showing today in some regards. Not blaming anyone for it, but it's just the way that some things are being looked over. So as a suggestion, as a way of creating more of a harmonious environment for Western Avenue, I'm working with a team of folks, and again, I'm going to extend an invitation to my council colleagues, and we're looking over how the licensing and the zoning for these particular lots exist, and change it so that it fits more of a aesthetically business-friendly environment. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to a level where everyone agrees before this particular piece of legislation will be voted upon. However, it's a step in the right direction in building and cleaning up Western Avenue corridor. It's a proactive way, which we could have done it, several years ago. However, this is just the time that we're getting it done. So, in respect to the business, in respect to the investment, in respect to the residents in that area, I think it's a very good opportunity for us to really chime in on what we want to look like later on, and what type of business that we want to accept in our community. We're looking at signage changes. We're looking at the way that the asphalt looks, parking lot asphalt. We're looking at the total nine, the aesthetic, the whole nine. And even in regards to that point, even being able to operate and fix cars on site and also sell them will potentially be something of the past later on. So I'm going to give my thumbs up to this particular project because of what's going to happen later on to clean up the area. And I hope that we can all support this as well.
Thank you, Councilman Shea.
Thank you, I have no comments.
Councilman Pearl?
I support it, as Henry, I think if code does a job, make sure things are kept up like the plan is. I think hopefully, I guess he sold 400 cars last year, maybe he do 800 next year, and it can look like Ireland Road or Great Road does. They have beautiful car dealerships on both. Bring a lot of people in town, a lot of business.
Thank you. Councilman Davis?
Yes, Councilwoman White. One of the reasons why I have appreciated this plan came from the community investment, and we all took off Fisher's idea, and I think the point was made that this is not a new business. If this was a new business trying to move into this area right now, I think it would go against all of our wishes as we have publicly stated. But this one is a current business trying to expand, and just what I just stated a few minutes ago, the other situation, I don't have a problem with the business trying to expand. Depends on what they're trying to expand with. This does not have any gas stations, so therefore, it's okay for me.
Thank you. Councilman Pearl? Councilman Davis? Okay, my comments as it pertains to this particular project as before, I have consistently I don't know the exact name, but the last ordinance, a bill that I supported was a car dealership from Harrison School. And the neighbors they met with the petitioner at that time. The petitioner had made a number of promises, and we drive past that. It is not what they said they were going to do. I agree that it's an enforcement issue. I think that there's some things that we must put in place. If you count the number of used car dealerships on Western Avenue, it's unacceptable for me. And I will not be supporting this particular bill because of the number of used car dealerships. I think that there will be plans forthcoming in regards to how we collectively would like to see Western Avenue, and to continue to add or to support expansion of used car dealerships for me is unacceptable, so I will not be supporting that. At this time, no more comments.
It's just a question of legal matter. When you do zoning, in which this is a zoning matter, what's the difference between an agreement and a written agreement versus the written law? And how are those two mutually exclusive? Meaning, like, if I make an agreement, like you just said, they made an agreement over by Harrison School, and you don't see those things never came to fruition. Now, because it's an agreement, it's not stated necessarily in law. Is that not enforceable? Meaning that the agreement that they made, is it sort of not enforceable, or is it enforceable?
Indiana state law gives limited power for the council to enter into what's called written commitments. Written commitments are then enforced through the building department and the department.
Okay. Just one time, I'm sorry. Written agreements are what?
Written commitments.
Written commitments.
We've had examples. There's one that's involved in the matter before the council right now.
Right.
With regard to limiting uses or types of fencing, for example. But again, those agreements or written commitments are only as good as they are enforced.
I got it. Okay, so let me move over. This is still zoning, and I need to have
For
it.
instance, the one before.
No, I got you.
You would have to go back to the area plan.
I understand that. I got that. So, let's say there is an ordinance versus an agreement. Now, is there more, I guess, teeth with the enforcement versus the agreement? However this business expands. So, if the business, okay, which one's stronger, the ordinance or the agreement? Or are they the same?
They should both be of equal importance because it is action that's approved by the council as well as the area plan commission that would be enforceable by the city administration. They're equal weight.
They are equally the same.
At this time, I'm asking for the council's recommendation regarding Bill 11-13 as amended.
Move for favor, bring the bill 1113 to the full council favorable report.
Has been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion? Aye. Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Roll call, please. Mrs. Shea. Aye. Dr. Thurman.
Aye.
Vice President Allen Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Nay.
Mr. Furley.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Aye.
President Dieter.
Nay.
Passes by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 2.
The amended version of Bill 11-13 will be sent to the council with a favorable recommendation. Ms. Tableau, you give second reading to Bill 26-13.
First reading on a bill of the county council of the city of South Bend, Indiana, amending chapter 21 of the South Bend Municipal Code, Article 5, Planned Unit Development District, Section 21-05, Planned Unit Development District, to revise the criteria used in determining major, minor changes to approved site plans and removing time limits to obtain secondary approval.
Is there a committee report? Zoning?
Hello?
Dr. Furley? That's fine. Bill 26-13.
Joining the annexation sent to the full council favorable recommendation.
We do have a petitioner before us, and you actually state your name and address and give us a brief summary of the project.
Good evening, Angela Smith, the Area Planning Commission, Office of the 11th Floor Facility. Just point of clarification, this is a public hearing on the bill, not a first reading.
Okay.
The ordinance before you comes on behalf of the Area Planning Commission with a favorable recommendation to make a text change.
Yeah, there you go.
To make a text change that would eliminate the time limit currently enforced on planned unit development within the city. This would allow for the developers to continue to work to develop the site without the limitation of having it expire, go back to the Area Plan Commission for additional approval that could easily be handled within the staff position. Limiting the time that the final development can be approved has no additional public benefit, since all requirements of the planning of development must be adhered to. Therefore, the Commission sees no need to impose a time limit. The proposed text amendment will allow the additional driveways, access points to be considered a minor modification and eliminate the time frame as discussed.
Thank you. Councilman, do you have any questions of petitioner? Thank you so much. We'll now move to the public hearing portion. Anyone present wishing to speak in support of Bill 26-13? Seeing no one, is there anyone present wishing to speak in opposition? Again, I see no one. The public hearing portion is now closed. Councilman,
Move for favorable recommendation.
This is moved and seconded. All those in favor of in support of Bill 26-13, I hear your vote. Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries. Bill 26-13 will be sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation. Ms. Cadwell, would you please give second reading to Bill 28-13?
Public hearing on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 20 of the South Bend Municipal Code by the inclusion of new Article 13 entitled Moped Regulations and amending Section 2-123, Schedule of Ordinance and Code Violations.
Now, can I make a motion so the rest of our council comes back to hear this?
I make a motion to take a 5-minute recess.
Second.
I think they've heard it once already, the presentation, but I think we can continue.
My motion was to wait for the
councilmembers back in their seats, and I do believe that Mr. Furley asked to.
I just made a motion.
Was there a second to your motion?
Yes,
excuse me, my motion was to wait until they return.
Is there a second to your motion?
Second. Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded for the first motion. All those in favor of waiting until everyone returns back to the council?
Just do a 5-minute recess.
That
was a motion.
His motion, Councilman Davis, is the second before you make your motion.
That's not true. I made a motion, I was seconded. That's not true. I made a motion to 5-minute recess.
His motion was on the table. I did not ask for a second. I did not do that.
When did you make a motion? Before me?
Yes, he did. He mentioned his motion was made before yours. And I think the record will show that. Am I?
He didn't make a motion, he just asked to stop so everybody shows up. He never made a motion.
I'm telling you what, at this point.
He never made a motion. I mean, I'm fine with it.
No, at this point, I don't think that. We're going to move forward and, with the motion, with moving forward with our committee meeting. I'm confused. At this time, we need to set the substitute version of Bill 28-13. Is there a motion? Second. Is there a second? Second. Okay, it has been moved and there is a second that we will hear the substitute version of Bill 28-13. The committee reports the Health and Public Safety Committee had a public hearing on the substitute version of Bill 28-13. We send this to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
There was not a vote on it, except for the substitute.
Okay, thank you. We need to go back and it's a motion to accept the substitute version and it has been received in favor. Now we need to vote. If the council members are willing to accept, to hear the substitute version of Bill 28-13. All those in favor, may I hear your vote? Those opposed, the motion carries. The Health and Public Safety Committee held a public hearing on the substitute version of 28-13. We send this to the council with a favorable recommendation. We have two presenters before us. We have to give a brief summary on the substitute Bill 28-13.
Hello, Madam Chair. We have Oliver Davis, address is 1801 Nash Street, South Bend, Indiana. To discuss some more before establishing South Bend And substitute bill number 2813, moped regulations. Sponsors are Councilman Trevor White, Councilman Oliver Davis, Councilman Derek Jeter, and Councilmember Scott. Our substitute bill 2013 talks about safety. Safety is making sure that we, as we come to moped regulations, deal with issues of improper use, safety factors for all. These are able to inspect and educate and verify legal from a distance by a sticker. That's what the key is. You heard from our discussion this afternoon, being to verify it's legal. Crime reduction, 54 mopeds stolen in 2011, 49 mopeds stolen in 2012, 15 mopeds stolen year to date. And we've had the situation over there in Courtyard. So we key thing here we're looking at is safety and crime reduction. Other cities in the state of Indiana that have already addressed this: Kokomo, Indiana, Muncie, Indiana, Richmond City, Indiana, and Terre Haute, Indiana. Now, of course, our Indiana state law addresses this, and this ordinance that we're proposing is complementary of Indiana state law.
The bill before you complements Indiana state law. Already, the Indiana does not allow anybody under the age of 15 to operate a moped, prohibits moped use on interstates and sidewalks, and prohibits going faster than 25 miles per hour. Required protective gear, headgear, glasses, goggles, and transparent face shield for those under 18. State violations are Class C infraction. What our local bill will do is require tail, brake lights, headlights, all must be in working order and on at all times. There will be no passengers on mopeds. There will be no mopeds using bike lanes. It will require valid registration decals that are fixed to the moped under the South Bend Police Department. Any business who rents mopeds must have protective headgear and up to purchase insurance for those renting. The fines and fees initiated with this fee is $20 for the first year and $15 every year after. You need to register your moped. There's clarification in the time frame. It is from May to May, not March to March, as I said earlier in committee. So anybody who would we plan on implementing in October with the city, and anybody who would register in October basically would get that free period until May or through the whole entire year of 2014, plus the small amount of 2013. So, fines are a violation if you do not have a sticker fixed to the back of the bumper. You could have your moped impounded, and fines are $50 for the first violation and $100 for each violation thereafter. The money is earmarked, 50% of the fees will go to the Police Department Education Fund of 220. So, basically how it would work, you would come before the Police Department and register your moped. You pay the fee and fill out a basic form of name, address, contact information, serial number of your make and model of your moped. Thus, the city department would have a way of verifying if any mopeds were stolen, anything returned, and also a quick inspection. One thing we plan on doing is doing some PSAs to address safety concerns with mopeds. Why the May start date for registration? Gives people time going into spring to get their mopeds registered prior to meeting that in the first go around in 2013. So we plan on working with administration, the police department, is supported, so is legal department from the city to enforce this. So that's it.
Councilmembers, any questions? Councilmember Davis, and I'll go straight down the line.
What's the cost for doing for those stickers? Is there a cost associated with the stickers from the city?
There's a cost. We haven't defined the exact graphic and stickers. We use a certain one in my business that is a non-removable metallic, and they're less than $1 a stick.
Really? Okay, would you be interested in amending your fee for the licensing, potentially bring it down to about $10 perhaps, because it's just a sticker that costs just $1. I made a point earlier about 11.4 unemployment rate, poverty, folks who actually use mopeds, the demographic that actually uses mopeds. $25 could potentially be a lot of money to a teenager that uses the moped to go back and forth to work. Just asking, because it only costs $1 for the sticker, could we be a little bit more conscientious about the demographic we're dealing with and lower it down to probably about $10 instead?
And just to reiterate, Councilman Davis, the initial fee is $20, it's $15 thereafter. So first year initially is $20 to get that registration.
I'm aware of that, but I'm still asking about the $10.
You have to understand the cost of an officer or someone in administration to collect the data, input the data, and make sure it's within the database.
Well, that's part of their job.
So there is fees associated to that, cost associated to that.
Well, I just asked you what was the cost for doing this, and you said you haven't been able to exact that cost. And so now you're telling me there is a cost. So what is the cost?
No, you asked the cost of the sticker.
Well, I mean for the whole project. I mean you have a certification project. I'm sorry, but you have a whole certification project, right? And so within the certification, there's a cost of doing business. What's the cost of doing that business? And if there's a cost that is above the $20 or $25 or whatever we're asking for, then maybe we'll lose out somewhere. If it's way below, obviously there's some money that's going to go somewhere else and be used for some other purpose. So my question again is, signing up, getting a sticker, somebody inputting information, what's the cost? And do we measure that cost against the amount of mopeds that are within the city of South Bend to say that we're going to make out so that that person who's doing the job is spending their time wisely, or the tax dollars are being spent wisely?
I believe, and I'm not speaking on all the co-sponsors looking at this, I believe the $20 registration fee handles that administration cost in a reasonable manner. Once that data is inputted, the $15 recurring fee for a police officer to look at my talk to the individual affects it is reasonable. I think it's a revenue neutral.
Well, where's your paperwork to suggest that? I mean, reasonable rate, but how do you prove that? Where's your proof that it?
I don't have anything documented.
So again, would you be interested in lowering the fees for this particular project because of what I just said? I'm not going to repeat it anymore. I don't think it's a bad idea.
If I could just add, state law requires any fees to be reasonably related to the cost and service that's provided by the city. Having done the negotiations for the city of South Bend with regard to sworn officers that would be involved with regard to the inspections and also checking the applications as a review process, this would be far less than the actual cost incurred by the city of South Bend.
We don't know that because no one has shown those numbers.
No. Yes, we do.
We don't know that.
Yes, we do.
I'm sorry, we don't know that. I would like to know the cost. No one's telling me what the cost is. I'm sorry. I'm not beating it up. I'm just asking. I'm not beating it up.
In the office of the city clerk.
I'm sorry. Your question, Councilman Davis.
I mean, I'm going to vote for it, but my point is that can we lower the cost of doing business? That's my whole point. Because obviously there's dollars that are going to go other places. If I'm an employee for the city of South Bend, my job is to do X, Y, and Z for whatever it is, a police officer, then my job is to do that. I mean, you're still going to pay my salary to do that. So weighing the cost against my time, you're still going to be doing your job. Regardless of what, you won't be doing that day, you're still going to get paid for it. So again, going back to my original question about the $10 being the fee set for the moped certification, again, that's where I'm at with it.
I respect your question to that. I think the fees that are set are reasonable.
I don't have it with me. Do you have the fees in the other cities?
$25 is the base for the four of the cities that we've looked at, and the renewal is anywhere from $10 to $15.
So we are consistent with the other cities.
I have no comment. I would like to just, I think Councilman Davis, if I may, so if it takes 30 minutes of an officer's time, perhaps, is that the calculation that if it takes 30 minutes to an hour for the inspection and licensing, is that where this, it's the employee's time that we're coming up with?
That's part of it, plus reviewing either the bill of sale to make sure that we have proper ownership involved, yet to review the information that's provided on the application.
So beyond the $1 for the sticker, there's the employee's time, correct?
Right, and you gotta look at it not only from an officer standpoint, but there's probably someone with administration. The data is collected, it's also shared with city legal. So there are other layers of the admin.
By doing your job.
Thank you. That was my addition.
Councilmember Francis? I have no further questions as well. At this time, council members, what is your pleasure regarding this bill?
Public hearing.
At this time, we move towards the public hearing. Anyone present wishing to speak in support of substitute bill 28-13, we ask that you come to the podium at this time. Anyone wishing to speak in support?
Well, my name is Keith Policeman. I live at 57112 Peachstone, just outside Compton. I'm in favor of the moped bill, and I'm in favor of charging $20 for the initial fee because there is such a thing for we fellow city employees known as opportunity cost. While it might be part of our job to do something, if we are now doing something that we haven't done before, that means something else has to get set aside, or perhaps even short shrift. And that needs to be taken into account. Above the fact that, of course, all of our salaries, while none of us are being paid as kings here, we all have to pay, and we're all getting paid something for what we do. So by all means, $20 is a very reasonable fee.
Francis, state your name and address, please.
Jesse Davis, P.O. Box 10-205, Southland, Indiana. I'm in favor of this. I think anything to basically be able to tell if these mopeds are legit. Maybe keep some kids off of them that shouldn't be on them. Keep some drug dealers off of them that shouldn't be on them is a good idea. Hopefully the sticker's going to be large enough and colorful enough that you'll be able to see it driving up behind it so you know it's a registered moped. And hopefully we're going to change the color of the sticker every year. The only other question I might have had about this would be what about people riding their mopeds through South Bend from West End to Mishawaka? If this passes, it would probably be a very good idea to maybe talk to Mishawaka, St. Joe County, and see if maybe we can get other local cities to join in with the similar ordinance, because you're going to run into, I have a son who's disabled, who's 22. He can't ride a moped, and he rides a moped everywhere. He doesn't have a driver's license. But he does come into South Bend occasionally, and it would be, I guess, kind of proactive if he's running through South Bend and he gets stopped every time he crosses the city line. So that's something that, you might want to think about, is maybe trying to work this into a county-wide thing.
Good point, thank you.
Reverend Greg Brown, 1238 Diamond. I'm in support of this because safety is always first. Dealing with these youth is tough. I'm watching them speed, but to know that there's going to be some value, there's going to be some statute there. When they're riding down the bike lanes, kids are hitting things and leaving the moped lane. It makes your job, Mr. Deaver, caution, unless you guys have been out there talking to the kids, but it's not going to help unless we can put some enforcement there. A young man ran into the back of my mother's van. He's got his brother's moped. You hear moped, you think 25 miles an hour. And the moped has got 120 on there. He ran into it and jumped off because he was scared to tell his grandmother that he had to back out. His brother's in Iraq. So who's responsible for a bike that's not even ready? So what I did, city council board, is I put the bike inside my garage and told them to bring a parent to get it. Because he hit it right as he was coming out of the driveway. And I think this will give us some validation to safety in South Bend. And I think that it's really needed because you have people that ride down the sidewalks, they use different areas. Some of them will even stop at the stop signs that says no turn on red, they'll still turn. I was going into the Chase Bank and one of them just pulled right up on the sidewalk, right by the Chase Bank as the lady was coming out in the glass door. And I think that needs to be enforced.
Thank you.
Samuel Barnes, from the 69 for better government. Here about maybe government church. I'm going to vote for this financial college bill only because of the drug watch. Safety lies within the one that owns the vehicle. If the kids are not properly trained when they're pushing these things, but the drug boys, and you may want to produce mopeds and things. And they're doubling up on the back of them to really unsafe. And I don't think that we need to put off.
Thank you.
Meeting council, my name is Scott Wiskowski, I'm the captain of the South Bend Police Department, and my office is 701 West Samples, 512E. I'm obviously here speaking in favor of this, but before I do that, thank you, Councilperson White. The other gentleman sitting back here, you guys really pulled off this effort, but no one more so than Kathy Sikansky did. It's much appreciated. I think we started this back in January, maybe February. This can't be anything but a good thing, the way I look at it. Now, if there's anybody in this room, especially when it's a lot more packed, that had to have some type of run-in of some kind or another with a moped. Everybody has. Everybody in my family has. I've heard it from pretty much everybody in here. The South Park Neighborhood Association is there last week. Same thing. They was brought up several times. Of course, Reverend Brown and several others have brought it up. Just wanted to address one thing specifically. I know Mr. Davis had asked a question about the cost. Look at it two ways. If you're going to spend $2,000 to $3,000 for a moped, $20 for 1 year is not that big a deal. That's in my opinion, being a father, 3 boys still at home, 2 grandkids on top of that. Secondly, that $20 to $25 a year just initially, you can't even go to the movie theater for 2 people and go through an hour-and-a-half movie without spending way more than that. So the $20, $25 dropping down to $15, I see absolutely no problem with that price. If it saves one life for $20, then tell me how it couldn't be worth it. And I don't know if it's appropriate for me to answer questions, but you have it, I'd be more than happy to.
Oh, you're just speaking in support of it. Thank you so much. Is anyone present wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing no one, the public hearing is now closed. Council members, what is your pleasure?
Move in favor of recommendation.
Second. Okay. No one spoke against it. So there's no rebuttal.
Call for vote. Yes, we have a motion and a second.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, and we did receive a second, that substitute bill 48-22 to be sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries. I would like to apologize for the confusion regarding the 2 motions, statement by Councilmember Dieter for and then he did not make a motion, and that's why I'm setting the record straight at this time. I would like to apologize to Councilmember Davis as well. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to rise from the committee before the whole committee is here. If you move a second, all those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Third reading of 1613.
Third reading on a bill amending the zoning ordinance and requesting a special exception for property located at 3529 and 3527 Western Avenue, South Bend, Indiana, for District 9.
Motion to defeat.
District number 2 in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
Motion to defeat bill 1613.
Second.
With motion and second. Roll please.
Dr. Turley?
motion defeat.
Yes,
no.
Vice President Oliver Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea. President Jeter.
Aye.
6 ayes, 2 nays.
Thank you. 1113, please.
Third reading on a bill amending the zoning ordinance and requesting a special exception for property located at 3801 Western Avenue, Councilmanic District 2, in the city of South Bend, Indiana.
A motion to amend the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion to second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? No. Motion for the amended version of 1113.
Motion to pass the amended version of 1113.
Second.
Vice President Oliver Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Nay.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Aye.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
Dr. Furlick.
Aye.
President Jeter. 6 ayes, 2 nays.
Thank you. 2613.
Third reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 21 of the South Bend Municipal Code, Article 5, Planned Unit Development District, Section 21-05, Planned Unit Development District, to revise the criteria used in determining major, minor changes to approved site plans and removing time limits to obtain a secondary approval.
Motion to approve Bill 2613. Second. Motion is second.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis.
Give me 2 seconds. This is the moped, right?
No.
Oh, aye.
Aye. Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
Dr. Furlick.
Aye.
Vice President Oliver Davis.
Aye.
President Jeter.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. 2813.
Third reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending Chapter 20 of the South Bend Municipal Code by the inclusion of new Article 13 entitled Moped Regulations and amending Section 2-123, Schedule of Ordinance and Code Violations. Motion to amend as was considered.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? No. A motion for the amended version of 2813, please.
Motion to pass the amended version of 2813.
Second.
Mr. Furlick.
Aye.
Mr. Scott.
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis.
I'm taking the liberty to vote nay because of the lack of data that supports the evidence of this program. Safety first, yes, but the data is missing, so nay.
Mrs. Shea.
Aye.
Dr. Furlick.
Aye.
Vice President Oliver Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
President Jeter. 7 ayes.
Resolution 1345, please.
A resolution confirming the adoption of a declaratory resolution designating certain areas within the city of South Bend, Indiana, commonly known as Crescent Oaks, Section 2. 2322, 2330, 2338, 2402, 2408, 2416, 2424, 2432, 2323, 2331, 2339, 2405, 2413, 2421, 2509, 2517 Basin Street, 2440 Basin Street or 5511 Running Deer Drive, 2429 Basin Street or 5469 Balboa Park Avenue as residentially distressed areas for purposes of a 5-year residential real property tax abatement for Tampico Developments LLC.
Presenter.
I don't see him. I don't think he's here.
Presenter.
I don't see him.
A motion to continue to the next meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion to continue 13:45 to the next scheduled council meeting. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. All right, 13:46, please.
Resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend designating certain areas within the City of South Bend, Indiana, commonly known as 773 Pulling Street, as residentially distressed area for purposes of a 5-year residential real property tax abatement for Joel and Catherine Dodson.
Thank you. Committee report.
The Community Investment Committee met today and we sent Bill 1346 forward with a favorable recommendation.
Sir, present for short synopsis of you.
My name is Joel Dosman, 773 Pulling Street. My intent to construct an approximate 2,300 square foot single-family home. The cost of the home is expected to be $214,000, located in Rural Oak Estate, Southside subdivision, over 30 big plots. Growth of the neighborhood has become stagnant, and the lot is currently owned by First Federal Savings Bank, and it will be sold to the builder, which is Oak Brook Homes. We then sold to my family. Previously, we were holding the lot with Reese Homes. This will introduce a new builder into that area. Total taxes abated in this 5-year abatement period estimated to be $8,769. Total taxes paid during this 5-year abatement period estimated to be $3,162.
Right, thank you, sir. Any questions? Thank you. Go to the public portion. Anyone speak in favor or opposition? Seeing none, council recommendation.
Move for the adoption of Bill 1346.
Second.
Motion is second.
Mr. Scott?
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis? Mrs. Shea? Aye. Dr. Furlick?
Aye.
Vice President Oliver Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Mr. Furlick?
Aye.
President Dieter?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. Let's go to 1347.
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend designating certain areas within the City of South Bend, Indiana, commonly known as 1047 Lincoln Way East, as a residentially distressed area for purposes of a 5-year personal property tax abatement for Crooked U, Inc.
Committee report.
To hear 1347 and 1348 for purposes of public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? 1348, please.
A resolution of the Common Council of the City of South Bend designating certain areas within the City of South Bend, Indiana, commonly known as 1047 Lincoln Way East, an economic revitalization area for purposes of a 3-year real property tax abatement for CEOL, Moore Properties.
Thank you. Committee reports.
The Community Investment Committee met today and we sent 1347 and 1348 to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Go ahead, presenter. Short synopsis of your project here, please.
Thanks, Council. My name is Sean Meehan, 2416 River Avenue. Andrew Walton, 26559 State Road. We are seeking a tax abatement for real and personal property for a brew pub at 1047 Lincoln Way East in South Bend. The brewing equipment consists of 13 vessels. A small computer system will be installed for brewing software, which allows them to closely monitor the product. We also intend to install 20 solar panels on the roof with aid and water heating. The cost of the brewing equipment and IT equipment is $114,037. Any restaurant equipment will not be covered by the abatement. Total taxes to be abated during the 5-year personal property abatement period are estimated at $5,032. Total taxes to be paid over 5 years are estimated at $4,899. Total taxes to be abated during the 3-year real property abatement period are estimated at $14,096. And we intend to create 21 permanent full-time and 5 permanent part-time jobs within the first year, representing a new annual payroll of approximately $750,000.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Seeing none, anyone like to speak in favor of 1347 or 1348? Anyone in opposition? First, have a motion for 1347.
Move for the adoption of Bill 1347.
Second.
Mr. Henry Davis?
Aye.
Mrs. Shea? Aye. Dr. Furlick?
Not here.
Vice President Oliver Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Mr. Furwick? Mr. Scott? President Diaz? 7 ayes.
Thank you. 1348.
Move for the adoption of Bill 1348.
Second. Ms. Calhoun.
Mrs. Shea? Aye. Dr. Furwick? Vice President Albert Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Mr. Furwick?
Aye.
Mr. Scott?
Aye.
Mr. Henry Davis?
Aye.
President Peters?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Thank you. See the first reading.
Motion to recall Bill number 1345. Motion to recall Bill 1345. For housekeeping, and this is for, I think, everybody's protection. There was some issues.
We need a second one. That's
13. Okay, a motion to reconsider Bill 1345. Well, I was trying to state that, but that was cut off. The reason why is because we had some issues in the past with practices. If a person does not show up for a meeting, do we continue it or do we just defeat it? And in this particular instance, we continue this one up, but this is inconsistent with what has happened in the past. And the only reason I'm asking this, and the only reason I'm asking for this is so that we are all clear and we're all in line with laws that govern us as well as we're trying to do here locally. And that was a question. I'm sorry? That's the reason why I'm asking for reconsideration so that...
Reconsider that, and we have to have someone second that and take a vote.
Alright.
Seeing none. Proceed to first reading. Clarification real quick.
Our past practice has always been, for the first time for a petitioner not to show, that we always have courtesy to that person because of an emergency that could have arose, if they didn't call or they might have called while you were in session, is to continue. That is consistent.
So we've been consistent with our practice.
Vote 3113.
First reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending various sections of Chapter 14, Article 9 of the South Bend Municipal Code, addressing the Community Campus Advisory Coalition, CCAC.
Well, let's make a motion to send this to Community Relations and Residential Neighborhoods for 8/12/13. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. 3213.
First reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, amending the South Bend Municipal Code at Chapter 2, Article 19, Section 2-213, Chapter 19, Article 3, Section 19-63C, 2, and Chapter 20, Article 9, Section 20-112, 20-112-113.4, addressing penalties for handicap parking violations.
I'll make a motion to send this to Health and Public Safety for 8/12/13. Motion and a second. All in favor of that? Aye. Any opposition? 3313.
First reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, for budget transfers for various departments within the City of South Bend, Indiana for the year 2016.
Move to send 3313 to Personnel and Finance.
I'm sorry. Motion a second. All in favor of that? Aye. Any opposition?
Nay.
3413.
First reading on a bill of the Common Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, appropriating additional funds for certain departmental and city services operations in 2013 of $124,256 from General Fund Number 101, $35,000 from Parks and Recreation Fund Number 201, $110,000 from Motor Vehicle Highway Fund 202, $10,752 from Gift Donation Bequest Fund Number 217, $1,665 from EMS Capital Improvement Fund Number 288, $500 from Hazmat Fund Number 289, $40,460 from Indiana River Rescue Fund Number 291, $184,502 from County Option Income Tax Fund Number 404, and $60,000 from Economic Development Income Tax Fund Number 408.
Motion to continue 3413 indefinitely.
none, that motion dies. I make a motion to send 3413 to the Personnel and Finance for August 8th. Second. 12th, I'm sorry. The motion is second, all in favor? Any opposition? No. 3513.
First reading on a bill of the County Council of the City of South Bend, Indiana, appropriating additional funds for certain departmental and enterprise operations in 2013 of $82,000 from Solid Waste Fund number 610, $180,000 from Solid Waste Depreciation Fund number 611, $739,667 from Waterworks Fund Capital Fund number 623, $336,502 from Sewage Works General Fund number 641, $274,502 from Sewage Works Capital Fund number 642, $1,080,895 from Sewage Works Sinking Fund number 649, $2,438,088 from Sewage Works Debt Service Reserve Fund number 653, $81,055 from 2015 Sewer Refunding Bond Fund number 664, and $611,752 Century Center Operating Fund number 670.
Quite a bit of money. I make a motion to send 3513 to Personnel and Finance on August 12th. Second. Motion second, all in favor? Any opposition? No. Unfinished business, may I have a motion to send Bill 1349 to ZNA for 8/12/15. Second. Motion second, all in favor of that? Any other unfinished business?
Point of clarification again. Back to the other issue that we just talked about on Bill 1345. Wasn't that also an issue regarding county and the things of the zoning issue that was supposed to have to do with that night?
Yes, it was. That's why.
So, was there any issue that the timing of that bill? Isn't that different than what we got here?
This is a confirmatory resolution.
So that's different than what we're going to affect that night? Because that they're not really out.
And it is the confirmatory resolution under state law that triggers if a member of the public would want to appeal the action by the city council in circuit court. So this is the most important public hearing that we have on tax statements.
So therefore they are not separate, they are not the same kind of bills that we have before. Thank you, I just like that to be for the record. Thank you.
Under unfinished business,
Gary, from the chair.
I have a request, and sharing as Vice Chair of Personnel and Finance here with us tonight, I have a request for the committee. We, of course, agreed to hear bills 3513 on 3413, and 3313 on August 12th. I would like a separate committee meeting of Personnel and Finance with Administration and Finance to discuss these further prior to August 12th.
Dr. Varner, he's the chair, but I will make sure that he gets that request, that he's aware. And
I support that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll make sure that he has that recommendation.
I would like that, if you could, ideally, before we meet again on August 12th. I think there's some issues with those large transfers.
Okay, I'll make sure that Dr. Varner will email him that he's aware of that request.
Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem.
Any other unfinished business? Any new business?
Yep. New business, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just reminding everyone, first of all, thanking everybody who came to the meeting last week on the South Bend City Cemetery. And our next meeting will be on August 21st at 5 p.m. and that's going to be at the O'Brien Center this time. So, it's a Wednesday, so you can always put that on your calendars. For those of you who can make it out, I'll send you the email on the address this coming Thursday at 6 p.m. over on Calvert Street. I have the address of my house. But our neighbors are getting together to discuss the issues that arise regarding the wells. And so the neighbors out there are getting together, and so I'm sure the council members, since I'm not the only one addressing that issue by myself, those who are welcome to come Thursday night at 6 p.m. It's right on Calvert Street, and I will give you I'll send an email out to you. Just wanted to note that. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the floor. Anyone who wants to talk to the council this time on something we have not talked about, leave your name and address, and there's something specifically you want us to follow up. If you need a form, that will be referred to a committee chair, and they will get back to you. If you just want to talk about whatever you want to, as a follow-up, do not fill out a form. You need your name and address, and Tim Scott will give you up to 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Christopher Huff, 1831 College Street, South Bend.
Can you start again, please?
Christopher Huff, 1831 College Street, South Bend. 5 years ago, a major American city decided it was going to demolish 14,000 of the approximately 19,000 abandoned, vacant but abandoned houses in that city, in order to restabilize the city and to provide the opportunity for the city to progress forward. Fortunately, the city did go ahead and begin that project in good faith using both local and federal tax money. At the same time that those 15,000 houses were being demolished, and they did complete that project, unfortunately, for every house that was demolished, 4 more became abandoned, vacant but abandoned. So here we are 5 years later, that city now has a total number of 73,000 vacant residential houses. Now, this project that you talked about here in the city, called 1,000 houses in 1,000 days, I would urge this city to take great caution in that regard. You may end up destabilizing the city if it's simply a meat-axe approach to the point where it could trip this city into a spiral that we may never dig ourselves out of. Now, again, using that example earlier, these things can backfire, even though they're good, the intentions are good. But, as I see it, the problem with abandoned housing in this city is more of a failure of my own city to control its violent crime rate. And everybody in this state, everybody in the states that I lived in before, know that South Bend has a very high crime rate. If you look at the statistics, that is unfortunately very true. That has caused people to both move out of the city, lack of demand for housing, and for people who are moving into the community, into the area, to deliberately not choose to live in South Bend. Good, bad, or different, these are the simple facts of life. This is a strategy which addresses a severe failure. I urge great caution, extreme caution, and unless we have demonstrable, objective, and strategic benefits to the community with this program, we should be very careful with it. And by the way, the city that I was talking about, and that was well heralded, the city that I'm talking about
30 seconds, sir.
Was a city by the name of Detroit. Thank you.
Jesse Davis, P.O. Box 10205, South Bend, Indiana. I've come to the council tonight. I've brought a privilege of the floor. I've talked many times about a sewer insurance ordinance, sewer insurance program. And apparently, Gary Gillott has tried to make some changes to that program or ordinance. Back in 2010, either we had a council meeting or a public works meeting, and was told that there had to be a pilot program done, so on and so forth, time periods before that can be done. And I did a little further research and found that between May and November, he went ahead and had a resolution passed in November to change the sewer insurance ordinance so that they could pre-qualify or in fact disqualify contractors by the type and amount of equipment they might own, cost to the city, that they charge the city, things of that nature, which appears to be a pretty big change in that ordinance. I would think that any major changes would have to come before the council and can't just be rubber stamped by 3 guys at the Board of Public Works, but apparently it can. So I brought you a copy of the actual resolution. I brought a copy of the May 13th, 2013 meeting where they talked about this change, and then I brought you a copy of November 4th, 2010, where they went ahead and passed this ordinance. So I'd like to look into this resolution that they passed and find out if it's something that should have came before the council.
And then you take a look and find out how many contractors are still involved in this program. As far as I know, there's only one contractor, and he's from out of town, he's not local. And I just don't think that is a very good change for our city. So I'd like you to take a look at that. I've tried to get this so-called new ordinance for 3 years, and every time I've requested it, I've been told it's in legal under review. I can't believe it's been legal under review for 3 years.
Thank you. We'll leave that up there, and Ms. Talboom will grab that from you.
City Council. Reverend Greg Brown, 1238 Diamond. You guys have been fair with me, and you have communication. I just want to put you guys on notice. Friday at 11 o'clock, I was called by the state police about to raise those. You come in and talk to me tomorrow at 1:30 concerning my complaint about impeachment. But I just want you, City Council Board, know that it's moving forward. I'm still going to take a stand in what I believe, what I've seen. I'm going to take a stand there. I do have a problem overseas. I have the privilege of the floor. Mr. Tim Corbin made a statement. Being a minister, being an African American, and being in this community, several people have talked to me between being at Rick's March today about the statement, black on black crime and being animals. City Council Board. Mr. Corbett says and flies off what he wants to say, and I take a firm belief. I was called by Reverend Jesse Jackson to come downtown and stand for Trayvon Martin. I never thought that was a black or white thing. I'm not about black or white. But when you have an official at that high down doing that, how can we put this community back together? And as a city council board, I'm just asking that when you see these things, they need to be addressed to the mayor's office. Because you guys hit the hammer on, they need more money for this, and they do this, and they do that. But to make that statement, bulletproof vests and helmets and being animals is not a good statement. There's a fight out here on the street every day. Yesterday, I was on the corner talking to some people. I seen Captain Murkowski out there. Shots was fired yesterday. This walk in South Bend is real serious. And it's not just the kids, but the people I'm talking to and what I'm hearing, there's a lot of people that's doing this not even from our city. So we got to get our governing body to look into recessionary houses to let these people move in from Chicago, Detroit, and they tear our city up. And we want you guys to look into it. And I'm asking you as a resident, I'm not going nowhere, but I want it to be looked into. Thank you.
Anyone else wants to talk to us?
And they're not